Um, Profits. Looking for the green, my friends. Are you guys looking for the green? You came for the right spot. Live trading with Benzinga. Let's go ahead. Let's start it up with a thumbs on up. Hit the subscribe and let's get it started. Welcome to it, guys. Live trading here with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
Good morning, traders. I hope you guys are ready to get into the market. Let's go ahead. Let's dive right in. Let's bring on my man, Ryan Faloona. What's going on, man?
Not much. Having a great day. Got to be honest. I had the exact same reaction as Connor. I looked down. I looked up. All I heard was and I was like, what's going on? But it was Mitch meditating, getting ready to crush it today.
Yes, like my man said in the chat, guys, sometimes you got to meditate before the open. I used to do some positive affirmations before the open. I think it's very important to kind of clear your mind and be ready to go. We call it trading in the zone. Of course, this is named after the giant, the best book, at least I think, out there, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. So I call it Trading in the Zone. You got to get into the zone. You got to be at peak performance if you want to survive out there, especially as a day trader. Swing trader, we get a little bit more time to make decisions. So this helps a lot. But when you're a day trader, you need to be at peak performance and be ready to go ahead and make decisions, because that's really what it's all about when we trade, right? When we make trades, it's all about decision-making skills and how you're able to go ahead and implement that in your process to get you to the returns that you're looking for. Let's get after it in the market. Let's go take a look to see what's going on out there and what can really start driving today. Now, one thing before we get into the market, of course, comments yesterday mentioned by Biden near the closed. I'm not entirely sure that we can quote that was the drop because of it. But at least from what I saw, there was nothing else going on at the time. And it was a hard drop yesterday in the SPY. Did you see that drop going into the close yesterday?
I did, Mitch. And I'm going to be honest with you. To me, that's exactly what caused it to sell off. I mean, I know that there were comments, similar to this before. Some of it wasn't really new news, but to me, there's without a doubt, that's why we sold off yesterday. I'm completely with you.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and I always like to look at the minute and look at what quotes are quoted on exactly when we start seeing the drop. Exactly at that 3:15 time, you get the comment. The comment was, of course, it was Biden saying that they would be ready to act. I think the word act was the word that got the algos moving, started to hit the market, and then people started following that kind of because we know how algos act, right? They literally go off of the wording and they try to immediately make a decision. I think that word act is the specific word. Another thing mentioned in yesterday's speech, and I don't think many caught this. I caught this because I thought it was very important to focus on what is going on in the oil game. And so mentioned yesterday was Biden said that they're planning on, just in case there is an immediate loss of gas in Europe, they're already having plans for that. To me, this just shows that, hey, I know where we should be trading, guys. We shouldn't even be looking at the SPY. We should be looking at one thing and probably one thing only. We should be looking at energy and seeing how this is going to continue to rise. One thing is that I don't see oil stopping anytime soon. And if we go into war, I mean, we could easily get, I think, even past $120 a barrel oil. I think it could go up to $150, $170 a barrel oil. I don't want that to happen. But when you hear comments like immediate loss of gas and they're worried about it, I mean, what's the reason that oil is moving up right now? It's a supply issue. It's not a demand issue. And so if you're going to cut supply even further, prices could literally go through the roof. You could literally see, I know it might not make sense, but you could see like a company like Chevron eventually get into 200 by the end of the year if we're going to continue to see the inflation and we're going to get into war times. So just be careful. I will be watching some refining plays today, so you guys can take a look at some of these. I've drawn out some of these VLO, PSX. You guys can take a look at. There's going to be a couple plays here that we're going to be watching. A lot of these refining plays are kind of just catching on up, so I'm catching with these, going to keep these on the radar. Guys like HFC, this one looks interesting. I already have this one drawn on out. If you look here on the monthly, it looks really nice on the monthly, trying to push on through the 37s, get up there towards the 40. Keep your eyes on some of these refining plays today. I think these are going to be some opportunity. Basic materials is the next area that I want to go into. Silver had a really...
Hold on, Mitch. Before you get into basic materials, let me just finish up real quick with what's going on yesterday. One of the other things that's not really being talked about and might just be, you know, the way I took it, my 2 cents. We were streaming some of that White House press. I don't know if it was press conference, whatever the speech was, the conference. We were actually streaming that here, and I tuned into it for a little bit. Admittingly, I did not see the entire thing. So there might have been parts of this that I actually missed, but it really appeared as if Biden appeared weak and old. And I'm sorry to say that, I really am, but it did not give off a feeling of confidence. And I think that is one of the things that kind of added on to why the SPY was selling off. The other thing is that I needed to stop to shout this out because this was just absolutely too good. Jeff Dees asked me how PayPal is treating you. Jeff Dees has charts. He can look. We saw yesterday, and he can look and see that I'm getting kicked in the nuts by PayPal right now. Which I was going to say until Christian Gallagher one-upped me and said that PayPal treats every long like a baby's treats a diaper. I got to be honest, you have a way with words, my friend, and there's no lies detected in that statement. So that is how I will answer Jeff's question. It's treating me like a baby's diaper, and it sucks. We'll see what happens today. I actually added a little bit more before the close yesterday. So hope we cleared that up. Good to see you guys today, both of you. Good to see both of you guys today. We are going to try and bring this back and make some money. Now, Mitch, I'm really sorry for interrupting, but I really didn't want to forget that.
You're okay, man. You're not the only one that has a position in the red. I'm in the red here on ABNB here, guys. Still holding a position from 156.86. At least it's only 10 shares, so it's not that bad. This is why you got to know your share sizing, guys. So what this gives me the ability to do is I'm down about 43 here. I need to see 152.50s hold today. As you can see, we already tested down actually below that. So we got to be careful here right out the gates that we don't break through this this wick right here. I'm going to do 151.98. That can get me out of the trade. I really do think that it's going to catch closer towards this 150. So we're going to give it a little bit of room here and see if we can get a bounce here right out the gates. It's going to dip close to there, and then I'm going to look for it to bounce on up. If we do get flushed out of the trade, that's fine there. AAL is one that I opened up yesterday. We talked about this position right when we were getting back towards the trend line, right? And we talked about how could we come back down towards the 1690s. That's where I was going to be looking. We actually went sideways here for a little while. That's where I took the trade here. And then we got a little bit of a pop. It went on up there towards the 1739s. Even there, 1745. So I'm going to keep this one on watch. It's a good trade for us right now. We're in the green here. We're going to look to see if AAL continues to work. When I took American Airlines, I wanted to take one more airline to separate the position, right? And not just go into one. I wanted to get a little bit of a basket trade here going. So I got JetBlue. Why JetBlue? Because it had a sideways action all day long. I'm looking for it now to pop up there through 1525s today. If we can get a pop up in there, we're going to be feeling confident in this JetBlue position. Of course, cruises did amazing yesterday. The CCL, man, I was so annoyed that I didn't get a shot on it. But I know that someone in the chat definitely got it. I know Shannon's probably still holding out there. Carnival Cruise pushing on up there towards the 22. Yesterday, we're talking about a move from the bottom there. It went towards a high, about a 10% move. So it's not a bad move there in RCL. Another one that made a huge move yesterday to keep on watch, USAK. This is a trucking stock. I'm pretty sure this has to do with the Canada trucking kind of thing that's going on right now. And so you got to watch this one. Look at this candle. This candle doesn't happen often on this stock. That's a huge candle, 13%. We're going to look for a retracement into the 21 zone and then look for it to come back through 22. I do like this look. This is USAK trucking stock. And you guys can take a look at some other trucking stocks to see if you get moving today. Back to basic materials. So silver had a great day yesterday. We're going to look for gold to have a good day today. If you look here, I've been watching this sector analysis here for me. Look how this is a nice pattern here, right? We got to start getting to consolidation. Now we just had that recent pop in gold where we had that really strong day. We're coming back for that resistance. That's what it seems like to me. So what I'm going to be looking is for gold to get strong today. Why would gold get strong today? Well, one thing to keep in mind is we have CPI data to come out on Thursday, right? So CPI data is going to affect gold massively, right? If we get a hot number, you'll see gold probably come down. But if we get a lower number, you could see gold actually get a pop. So keep your eyes on this one. We're going to see what happens in gold, but there's some plays that I'll even be watching today. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look. What are some of these gold plays that we can watch? Of course, you guys can keep NEM, which is the capitalization leader. You could do gold. Look how we got this pop very similar on that index. And now we're going to look for gold to kind of continue pushing towards 20 today. I definitely would keep this one on watch right out the gates, guys. If we get a little push here, let's say towards the 1967s, we'll get an alert and we'll let you guys know on gold. I definitely would keep an eye out on some of these. There's some other ones that look really good too. If you look at this Kirkland Lake, it's been bouncing off the support, could come back on up. You have a couple other ones, KGC, a cheaper one, $5 name if you wanted to keep a look at a cheaper name. AU looks strong, looks like it wants to come back through the 20. There's a lot of these kind of gold names that I'm going to keep on watch. Another thing you can do is look at some high RSI in gold. So what is going and moving its way into the overbought? This is a higher price one, RGLD, but Royal Gold, I'll be looking for it to continue into the 106. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going to stocks out there.
Let me cover Peloton here real quick.
Yeah, go for
it. First of all, I want another shout out. I believe it was Cole Taylor quoting me and really kind of putting it back on me. It really sucked. I added more at the end. It sucks. I added more yesterday. LOL. Basically, I still think that the thesis is right. I still think that there is a bounce. My hope yesterday was to just kind of add to the position, average down, and then be able to make a decision today. I'm up 8 cents today so far, so we'll see where we go. Just going to give myself another chance to kind of make some of that money back. I don't often advise that because revenge trading can get you in trouble, but this was very, very small. In fact, my first entry was very, very small by design in case something like this happened. We'll cover that as the trade pans out here. Peloton, however, very interesting news, right? They're going to remove the CEO. Or they did remove the CEO. That we still have the rumors about the buyouts or the mergers or the acquisitions, whatever it ends up being. And we have earnings tonight. So we're going to have a wild day here in Peloton. I think that this is actually going to swing back and forth several times. I think the volume will probably be pretty high. And I'm wondering if we're going to get any type of clarity on the future plans out of the conference call today. I believe they're laying off people. I had someone that knows somebody. I know that this is, 2 degrees of freedom here or whatever, but I know somebody that knows people that work there. A lot of them seem like they're worried about their jobs. So we'll see where the actual stock price goes. I suspect there are going to be fireworks here today. I would say if you trade this, you probably want to stick to your technical indicators. You can make sure that you get good entries and kind of be deliberate about what you're doing. So Peloton, not a huge fan of the stock. I like the equipment from what I've seen and from what I've tried out. Not a huge fan of the stock, but the news today is definitely going to serve as a catalyst. It's going to be up to decide or to figure out whether this is going to be an upside move or a downside. 2 degrees of separation. Thank you, Fourth Wave. Much appreciated. Peloton, single digits unless there's a buyout. Honestly, I think that might be on deck here. I think that if we don't get any type of good or encouraging news, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Again, I don't think this company is going to go under or anything. They make really good equipment. Even professionals in the industry agree that the equipment is good. There might just need to be a little bit of a business change. We'll see how it goes, though.
Definitely something to keep on watch. I mean, at the end of the day, I think what you need to keep on watch, guys, is the subscription numbers in Peloton. It's not necessarily the bike that is going to rule the stock. This company is, to me, what is it? It's not a product company. It's a subscription company. They use products to give you the experience so that you continue using the subscription. So to me, that's what it is. And I think that some people view it too much as a product stock versus a subscription stock. Why would someone want to buy it out? Because of the subscription model, not because of how it's set on the bikes. The bikes, I mean, if they wanted to buy bikes, they could just go on the marketplace and go grab them, right? So it's not the product here. I think it's the business overall and the service. And so the real question is, I think you just asked yourself this: will personal training really be adapted to where it can be used remotely, like where you will be happy to have a personal trainer on a screen versus him actually being there in front of you? That's the difference here in the models, and what Peloton, I think, tried to create in the pandemic that we're seeing not last. About, if you look at some numbers, and there's some surveys out there, you'll see about 40% of people are not working out at home anymore that they were in the pandemic. This is where we need to keep an eye out. If we get back towards the health life and personal training can be done at home, Peloton can come back.
I've been working out more at home, but I know I'm the outlier. Really quick, I wanted to address Zen Bullish. It would be nice to have a live window pop up with whatever show is live at the moment on the screen when someone goes to the Benzinga site. So good call on the Benzinga website. I think that we do actually have some upgrades on deck there, but a real quick shout out here. If you're in Pro, in the chat module, one of the rooms is Benzinga TV. And in that room at the top, we pin whatever show is live at that time. So even if the redirect doesn't work for the previous show, even if you forget, even if you're in a different time, whatever the case is, you can always access whatever show is live on Benzinga by going to the Benzinga TV chat room or simply going to our YouTube channel. So quick note there.
All right, we'll keep a watch on these stocks. I'm going to start going through some in the chat. You guys do us a favor. Definitely smash the like. Let's keep on going. I did see a firm mentioned in the chat. I think that's kind of a hold off.
Got to be JD's, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it right now. Let's go to VLDR. They got their news here. It's an important one to keep on watch. I would keep this one on watch with LAZR today, but it could make up the whole gap down there towards 4. Of course, this was news on autonomous. I think you keep this on watch, guys, and just keep these on watch because there's going to be some winners out of these. I know that some people think that, all these kind of Lidar plays are going to go to zero. Some people think that, but to me, I really do think that there's going to be winners here, and one of these companies is going to be massive, I think, in about 3 to 4 years. So you got to keep these on your radar, whether you're a long-term investor, swing trader, or day trader. I say you keep these on your eyesight. LAZR is one I'd watch today to see if it gets strong with that news that was mentioned.
All right. Good luck, everyone. We are open here. Peloton, jeez. Recency bias. PayPal doing its thing, just kicking you right out of the gate. Let's see if it can reverse here.
All right, guys, keeping an eye on my swing trades right out the gates here. So Airbnb going up right out the gates. AAL going up right out the gates. So let's see if that one can hold 17 on the pullbacks today. I did work more and more on my alerts here. So what I did was I created an alert page for us here. So NRG and gold are going to be our first alert. NRG moving above and gold moving below the price point there. So NRG we could take a look at if we wanted. Let me put this as a blue one here so you guys can see this. This is an independent power play. I'm going to be looking for this one to pull back here towards around 40s. See if we can get the VWAP bounce trade in this one. VWAP is around 40.13s. We'll look for a 40.10 pullback here. The spread is a little wide. Just be careful out there. All right, LAC also coming off on my alerts here. So lithium play being called out there. LAC, I'm going to look for that one to continue. Let's see if it can get back above this trend here. So I'm going to put a little line there at the 27.34s. We'll set another alert there. If it gets above that, that's going to be something we want to watch.
Apple really strong out of the gate here. Seems to be the relative strength in the tech sector. Although I guess NASDAQ trading up a little bit here as well.
Short potential stock, you could look at ADP today. I think that one looks good for a short here. There it goes. It's already knocking down there. The spread is a little bit wide there. That's the only reason I'm not going to get an ADP, but it does look interesting here.
And you had Pfizer reporting earnings here, trading lower by about 5%. And BP here too, 5.5%. Wow, almost. So pounding lows. Actually, Pfizer looks like it might take out the pre-market low here. No trade for me on that though. Yeah, and actually looking at this, we seem to be sitting pretty much right at the 100-day after earnings here. Let's take a look at BP, which also reported earnings this morning. Buyback news. I think we were expecting that. Inline guidance, conservative macro outlook. I would imagine the stock's not trading up a ton. Yep, we're near flat here. Makes sense. Taking a look at some of the. I wanted to take a look at Hog here real quick. Harley Davidson. Nice. Harley Davidson trading up here. This one might be interesting too if this can get going.
All right, X I'm calling out there. That's not a bad one to look at for VWAP bounce play there. Not a bad play there. We'll see what happens on X. Interesting play there. Hess. Look for oil. Let's see if this one can get on up there today. I'm going to wait on oil to see if it really does push here out the gates. And then we'll find out, see how we're pushing here. Penn. How's Penn doing? Pushing on up there. DKNG. It's kind of coming down there a little bit.
That Super Bowl play not working out yet, huh? DKNG has really struggled with the football season.
Yeah.
I think in the long anyway.
I think in the long term you'll see some kind of pop there. It's just
good. Yeah, I do too.
Where's the timing in it? All right, guys. I have an order out there for NRG at 40.06 here. Might have to switch up towards 410 here to try to get my entry there on NRG, but I'm waiting here to see if I can get filled on the bid side here.
And guys, Zunaid will be back. Zunaid had some stuff he needed to take care of this week. He will absolutely be back with us. Believe me, we miss him too. We'll send the love to him. In fact, I'll do it right now. He'll appreciate that.
Definitely, guys. We'll definitely send the love, guys. Looking at this LAC, just took a little bit there, looking to add some more here. It's kind of jumped into this one a little bit higher than I would normally, but I did see the momentum coming on in here, trying to add down here in the 27.10s and 27.05s here. We'll see if we can get this to keep on pushing. This is LAC. Did get a nice alert here on this one. Going to look for a little pullback here towards the VWAP. Needs to hold that low here. You could test it, and then we'll get it right back on up.
Tesla here pounding lows again, just under that 900 level. Remember, being under that 900 level has caused it to bounce several times. Looking at this, I mean, I think the 890 area here is going to be some support. I think you could probably look for a bounce here. We'll wait and see if we end up getting it here. 822 is the most recent low. It did bounce off that. This actually might get retested here.
All right, someone calling out FCX in the chat. This is one that I do have on radar. Above 3940s is where I really get bullish. But look for a pop here and see what happens on that one. LAC, we're already doing pretty well in this one, up there towards 2730s. Looking for pullback buys, but I mean, if it wants to just keep ripping, I'll let it keep working here. Let's go to the sectors here. I'm going to try to keep moving fast today, guys. I'm going to talk a little fast, so if you guys need me to slow down on any point, please let me know, all right? Aluminum up 4.3%, so look at AA leading the day there. CENX is another one I would give there. Look how that one went from 1650 up there to 1750s really quickly. 6% move there. Nice little rip out in aluminum today. Coal up 3.5%. Of course, you guys know I'm going to be looking at that BTU, one of my favorite coal players. Look how we went back towards that 1150 area We called this out. Bullish engulfing candle on the daily. It's been strong ever since. BTU, coal player, moving on up. All right, I'm going to see
BTU has
if
been
gold
super
eventually.
strong.
I'm going to look to see if gold eventually makes a rip here. Ooh, this WPM looks interesting here. Yeah, this WPM does look interesting. He's trying to push here. I'm looking for a pullback in this one. All right, guys. NRG just got a fill there at 40.06 there on NRG. Boom. Look at that. Nice reaction there. Almost instant gratification there. Up there, bouncing up there to the 40.80s. We're going to look for this one to push through 40.30s here. This is NRG. This is one I've been given for 2 days now, so we'll keep this one on watch, guys. This is also a Goldman Sachs type of play. Has some dividends to look into. It's an independent power producer in the utilities sector.
I say Ron shouting out PDD. PDD, this is one of those Chinese stocks that has really been beaten down. Strong out of the gate here, right into its resistance 1 pivot. Well, let me get you that exact value here real quick. That resistance 1 pivot is 55.57. Right in there. Sorry, Mitch. I'm trying to deal with multiple things right now.
You know how it is, man.
My bad, my man.
All right, what's going on out there? What about that NRG target? What do you want? You want a target on the upside? Well, I mean, for me, this is a little bit bigger game to work here up towards 41. This is kind of more of a swing trade there. I'm trying to get it back towards the resistance. The resistance is all the way up there towards the 42.50s. So from here, we'd be looking at a big move. The big thing we want to do is see this support hold here, this 39.78. We can't let that break on the downside. We're looking for it to push through the 40s here. All right, let's go to the 6 charts here. Let's start putting up multiple charts so you guys can follow. Look at DraftKings. It did turn around, guys, and spiked pretty significantly. So keep that one on watch. FTIB is another one that I've been looking at. CCL also caught a bid there. Not a bad little move there. Tesla has been working on the down. There you go, catching a little bit of a bid there. Let's see if it holds 900s on the downside after this. You did see a dip below 900. Let's see if it gets back there below 900s again. LAC looking good here for us, trying to take out the highs. We'll see if this can take out the highs in the 30s. All right, starting to work the positions here, guys. The SPY is bouncing on up there, so that's a good sign there. Let's see if we can get a push in the SPY and get a push in some of these trades here.
Lots of tech stocks trading up here. I know Twitter back to its opening price. Apple up, trying to get to yesterday's close. Square really strong as well. And obviously PayPal reversing here from the early nut kick, if you will.
All right, there you go. LAC breaking through the highs there, guys. We're up there towards 27, almost 50s there. We're doing really good on this one. We're going to close it above the 50s here on the breakout. Let's see. There's 27.50s showing on up. I'm going to put an order out in the 60s here. Look for a little push to close into it. Did see a seller step in there at the 50s. There was 5,000s at 27.50. That to me was a seller, someone taking some profit there at 27.50. Let's see if it can get back through that 50 mark here. NRG working really well. Also, we're up there towards 40.31s on that one. We're going to look for a move up there towards 41 on NRG. Working some positions here, guys. I will catch up with the chat. I do see a lot of people mentioning some trades. Yo-yo market, says JJ. Definitely. So yo-yo.
VLDR, what do you think of that deal? What do you think of those LiDAR plays, Mitch? What's your gut tell you?
Investments. 2 to 3 years. I think you definitely need a piece. What I say is look at DRIV. What does it have? LAZR and VLDR. There's a reason why they picked those two.
VLDR, really, really weak, almost giving back all of the after hours gains that we saw yesterday. Really quick note here. This is actually why you'll often hear me say I rarely trade in the pre-market and the after hours. This is why. This type of move, this is not the first time that I've seen this, and this is certainly not going to be the last time that I've seen this. Really, really weak stuff here. Be very careful about buying the news.
All right, guys, selling half here, the position of LAC. Going to look for a pop above the 60s. Sold half at 56. We got it at 25, and we're looking for it to continue through here. But if it doesn't continue through, we'll just take out the rest.
Peloton trading up here. Nice.
40 is that downside move, or I'll just take the 40s. Because it could come back all the way to the VWAP. We don't want that. We want it to come back towards 2760s. Take that out. I hope you guys are having a good trading day. Like always, guys, smash that like when you get a chance if you guys are enjoying the day. And let's keep it going, guys. All right, keeping a close eye on this LAC. We're killing it right now. So
where was your buy point on that again?
27.25.
All right.
Not a bad spot there. I jumped into it a little bit higher than the VWAP. I normally would get around 27.12s, but my alert set me off on that one.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, hand on the trigger to get out just in case it breaks through the 27.39 right there. Tested it for a second. Want to see it just quickly rip through that 27.60, and then I can hold on to the rest. All right, there's the breakdown of it. I'm out of it. I'll take the last little bit of gain there. Not a bad trade there.
Nice job. Nice job sticking to your rules, too, in the face of a reversal. By the way, Tesla, which we talked about here, dipping below 900, immediately bounced with that bounce in tech. Looks like that's actually trading back up here. I'll tell you what, that below 900 level on Tesla seems to be really strong for bounce candidates, so long as the market is cooperating.
All right, I can get back in below VWAP there, but we'll see what happens on that trade. NRG is now working for me, so I'll pay attention towards that, and I'm just going to let that one work. We're already in the green pretty good with LAC. We're in the green with AAL, JetBlue staying in the green, and look at Airbnb. It's coming back. So we're looking good. We're only down about $13 there, and we were down about 40 to begin the day. So let's go ahead. Let's keep a look on what we see now. We just took our LAC profit. Now we're looking at NRG to continue on up to 41. And this is looking good right now. NRG up there towards 40.40s. And I got in this one at a 40.06 pullback. And you guys remember I put the limit order out there and I said, I'm going to let it work. Let that limit order fill me. And the low of the day today was we got 40.04. So I got one of the lowest fills of the day today. So I'm not going to feel bad about that fill. Let's try to let this NRG trade work here.
In the chat here, Trank is asking JPM or BAC. I have no other context for what you're asking, so I'm just going to assume that you're asking which one of those is better. I like JPM a little bit.
I'll tell you, the analyst would say Bank of America, but Ryan is not the biggest fan of Bank of America.
No, I'm not. Used to.
I can't blame you.
Really hate them. We'll never go into one again.
Oh, don't worry. They took a whole paycheck from me one time, Ryan, on overdraft charges.
Oh my God.
So
that makes me hurt inside.
You have no idea. I'll tell the story a little bit later, guys. If you guys want to hear the Bank of America story from Money Mitch, let me know in the chat. I'll tell it a little bit later once we get a little bit of this trading action to calm down. All right, Lending Club doing well today. So I'm going to look at my L Pro. I talked about this one yesterday. It had a good day yesterday where it broke out from 12 all the way from around 1850s to 1924. So I'm going to wonder if L Pro can get a push here, but the volume is just way too low. So just leave it alone for me right now. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what is leading us today. Basic materials. What is up? Aluminum. What has finally gotten into the green? Gold, baby, gold. I'm looking for some gold plays out there. Let's see if I can find them. Let's go to my alerts here. All right, so we're looking for above the trend and holding, so move above PFE. Interesting, right? It's setting on up for a long here, actually. These are the patterns that I think are interesting, right? Because it's setting up for a long trade, right, on the 1 minute or let's say even the 5. But if you looked at the hourly and you scrolled back, this is a bearish pattern. So these are the interesting patterns that I like to understand, because bigger time frames are trading for it down, smaller time frames are trading for it up. So this is an important thing to always take a look at. And you can find that, you can pay attention to it. FCX giving me the alert there, guys. I talked about 3940s, how it was important. There you guys have it. Now let's see if we can get on through that level. Why is it important? Look at the daily level that we're starting to build there above 40s. This is going to really start looking good. FCX, that's a copper trade out there.
Real quick, I want to address something here. It'll only take a sec. Chermo asking, any chance BZ is working on adding the ticker symbol to the beta charts? Okay, so I think what you're talking about here is the little icon that says chart. This is called the chart widget. We designed this chart to let me compare it to the details. We designed this chart to not have this information here at the top so that you could see more of the chart. And the goal here was for people to be able to put multiple charts on the screen, no matter what monitor and what resolution they have, and then be able to use these charts. So you're asking me, is there any chance we're adding the ticker symbol? Well, the ticker symbol is already going to be at the top. And of course, you can overlay that on the back of the chart by going to appearance and adding what's called a watermark. So I don't think we're not trying to modify this at all, Chermo. We made this so that it was a little bit more sleek and could be contained in here. That's a good question, though. Let me know if I answered your question.
All right, watching LAZR. It could pull back here towards the 1520. Is going to look for a VWAP bounce type of play, LAZR. So definitely take a look at that. But let's take a look at the overall market. What are we seeing here in the overall market? Are we seeing just a ramp up, or what are we seeing sideways action? So it could flush down right here, guys. So be careful now. We're past the 945, getting really close towards that reversal time. One thing that I wanted to do is now what you do, don't look where the price action is. Look where the levels stopped. So right here, use the bodies. Wicks are wicks, but use the bodies here. Determine your red to green zone. What happens here is that you get out of the opening range, right? 3 candles start closing on the 15-minute. Look for it to break above or below the opening range. What happens here? All right, looks like Sopa has a halt. Sopa. Who's getting some soup?
That was moving this morning. Excuse me.
You know sopa means soup in Spanish, right?
I didn't, but I'll take your word for it.
Look at this thing. This thing's been rocketing since pre-market. Let's keep an eye out on this bad boy. This one could keep going. Did halt there, Hex. Good call out. I appreciate you calling it out.
Up 56% into that halt. I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, what I would do is maybe look for an immediate pullback towards the low of this candle, 475. Then maybe take a risk off of 450. But of course, you have to open up the range a little bit here. But if you look at pre-market, you see a high up here in the 6. So from where you are right now, like if it got up there towards $6, that'd be a 17.4% move. Now, what are you looking for? You're looking for an entry around 475s. If you risk down to 450, that's a 5% risk. What is that? A 3-to-1 trade. Those are the type of trades that I like to structure. I think of myself, all right, so reward 3-to-1. Where are we looking on the chart? What does the chart say? Chart says a 3-to-1 look there. The question is, can you get it and execute on that? It's going to be a hard trade, but like always, guys, choose your own risk, determine it. All right, let's go ahead. Apple on the 1-minute chart. I was looking to see if Apple was going to break down. If it breaks down on the lows here, if you look at the hourly, we break down through the 170s. I think the SPY is going to come down significantly. But if we can hold there and push back up, it should look well. LAZR coming back for the VWAP bounce trade here, looking for a small dip towards 1518s or 1515, and then we could get in if we wanted to take this back on up. The big thing is the SPY, though. I'm feeling like the SPY is being a little bit too trappy here. Exactly. There you go. You see? SPY breaking through that low opening range. Be careful, guys. There's going to be some trades that are going to flip around a little bit here.
That Apple that you just mentioned, that seems to be trading with the Dow future. So it seems to tick along with it. So I don't know if that helps at all. I know it's obviously part of the Dow.
All right, guys, looking to add here on NRG. Why? Because I feel like if we're going to get this push, I think utilities are going to start pushing on up towards the top of the sectors, especially if we're going to get the SPY to keep cracking on down here. Let me know when that SOPA opens up.
Market continues to pull here.
I'll let you guys know if I get an ad on NRG. Right now, I'm just keeping an eye on all of my swing trade positions. We nailed LAC. We're keeping an eye on AAL, Airbnb. Airbnb is the one that we need to take a look at. How is that one starting to hold up here? This is the fun part about swing trades. Sometimes I don't even look at them right out the gates because I'm just looking at my kind of my risk. And as long as it's not going towards my risk, I let the trade work here. Airbnb, to me, as long as it can hold 153s today, we're looking really well. We just pushed up right out the gates. We'll see how that one continues to move. Did I get my ad in NRG? No, I didn't get the ad there. Had a bid there at 40.05 to get the ad, but I didn't want to overextend myself, so I'm just going to keep letting that position work. Gold is the positions that I really want to start keeping an eye on, especially if the market's going to start coming and dipping here.
Mitch, we better address XOM before JD's has a coronary here. Looking like 81.25 is the line for you. Looks like it's bouncing off of that almost to the penny. Good eye on the chart there. Looks like it bounced off 81.12 here, 81.11 on that low print. Right at your level here, although it looks a little heavy here. It looks like it might retest those lows.
So to me, you'd look at these body closes on the 1 hour chart and you'd want it to get back above that. So that's 81.31 on the upside. If it keeps holding that as resistance, you could see XOM keep cracking down. To me, I just don't want to be too early on trying to trade oil on the downside. So I'll just let this trade work today.
Yeah, same. I think 80.54 is going to be you. If you end up cracking that, we go lower here on XOM. And that's also off the 1 hour chart, by the way, Mitch.
All right, Frontier Group, if you want to take a look at this one, of course, this is the airline that just announced with Save. Looks like it's trying to hold the VWAP here. Looks like it's the $13 breakout. Of course, this is a very small range stock here, so keep your eyes on that, but ULCC holding up there.
One more idea, just kind of piggybacking off of what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, I had mentioned Tyson after the earnings report. We had taken a look at the daily chart, realized that it really kind of took out this quadruple top that we had put in here. It seems to be running now. We did get 100 prints this morning. It's backing off a little bit here. This is actually what I'd like to see, right? If we can actually back off, maybe hold 97 or even go back up towards 100, I actually think you might have another swing opportunity here if we take 100 out on the second or third attempt. That would be what I would be waiting for on Tyson. I think actually if we're able to sell off out of the open here, but keep some of our recent levels, really, again, the only one that really stands out here is 97, maybe 94. But if we can hold some of these levels, I actually think that this goes higher. They had a really great earnings report guided higher. So this Tyson, they might have an opportunity here pretty soon. We'll see.
All right, SOPA.
Is it open?
SOPA. I think so. One that I will call out, USAK, still working well, and I called out rider potential for the trade here. Looking for a pullback. It's already above levels where I would buy into, but I still am looking at this one. USAK is the one that I think is the leader in trucking right now. That thing's had a monster day yesterday, and look at the candle that it's putting in right now. It's looking pretty strong. We'll see if it holds up there, but are already ripped. It already starting to get through there. We'll see what happens on that one. Let's go ahead. Let's get into SOPA.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me just go through SOPA here, and I'll turn it over to you, Mitch. SOPA, these were the two levels that I identified during the halt, right? So first one here is going to be 5. We talk about the round number all the time. We did try to bounce off of that. Here we are at it again. Let's see if this ends up holding. Otherwise, I like this to come into 477, and I think you actually might get another bounce attempt there. If this ends up breaking down much past this 411, maybe even 430 level, I think that this probably continues to sell off. So just be really careful here. Here we are now under 5. Next spot here for a potential bounce seems to be 477. Go ahead and flip back. I'm sure you have a longer term outlook on this.
Yeah, I'm looking to get I have an order out here at 475s, guys. I'm willing to take the trade that we talked about. Let's see if we get a fill. So the order is out right here. I'll let you guys know if I get a fill. I'll change it to green, but I have the order out there. My risk is down to 450s. I'm looking for it to get filled and then come right back on up through that high. Look for the second halt to come in after the 550s. Let's see if we get this drop bid fill and then a quick scoop. I don't want to come in here at the 5s because it could immediately go to 475, and that would have to be my risk. I'd get stopped out of where I think entry is best. So I'm going to just put the order out here. Hands are off. Just watch the trade. Let's see if we get in here.
I'm sorry. What was the exact spot that your order's in at?
475.
475. Remember, I had 477 identified, so we're right there. We're right there on the same spot.
All right, this is where I think it traps. What it does is it looks like it's going to go through 5. Some people jump on the 498s, 497s, and all of a sudden you get a quick dip. Then I'll look for that rip right through the 5 on the next point that it gets to 5. And it has to rip there on the next point because that would be the kind of the rule of 3. So let's see what we get here. See if we get this quick dip and then the breakout.
Upside target looks like 544 too. That was going to be the high of the regular session today. If we end up trading back up there, I think you also might get a trade above that, but that would be my first target if you're going long on that. PayPal doing the same thing it did yesterday where it traded up out of the open and now starting to reverse. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and we're going to not let it do what we did yesterday. I'm not going to let it continue to sell off. If it comes back in all the way, cut it, wait for it to set up again. Keep the losses small and manageable. Do not let them spiral out of control, especially right now. Oil pounding the lows here, by the way. Let's check in on XOM. Jeff, how you doing out there? You doing okay on XOM? XOM lows here, 80.65, actually testing the low from yesterday's session. We'll see where that ends up going. Potential bounce spot here too, by the way.
All right, guys, it's holding the 5s there. Some shares are going through there on SOPA about like 3,000s. You see them start showing up. I'm looking for that like 10,000 order to really step on up and move the market. Keep your eyes on that to see if you see that flow through there on the time and sales. Not on the level 2, the time and sales, guys. I didn't get in there, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel the order for right now. If we get a pullback, we could look at it. But for right now, I haven't gotten in on SOPA. If someone did, hey, power to you. I set up my trade. If it didn't work or it didn't get an entry, you can't be upset about that. The only thing you can do is set it up. If it works, it works.
That's why we say wait for the setup, wait for the trade to come to you. That's exactly what we mean.
All right, guys, I'm going to go.
And with SOPA, really quick, with SOPA, it looks like this 5 to 544 is going to be the range for this particular trade. So I know we actually overshot 5 on this pullback here. Let me try and make this a little bit easier to see. We actually kind of traded. It looks like we stopped here on the downside at 487, so 13 cents below that 5. But I think as long as the volume stays up here, I think we actually make another run at 544 here. Question is going to be, do we actually take that out and keep moving?
All right, guys, I'm going to look for gold here down by the 1950s. Looks interesting for me.
Scanner drying up a bit here. Taking out 25, 30. 33. Here we go. So here we are on SOPA. Looks like we're actually, let me zoom in here and get this info. So here we go. Looks like we're definitely going to take out, or at least, excuse me, it looks like we're definitely going to test 544 here. The question will be, do we take that out? Volume's still pretty good here on SOPA as well. Going to check some of the other stocks on the scanner while we're waiting for that level to be taken out. Lift looking strong here. Oh, Prague back down to the 160 handle, but actually looking fairly strong this morning. Where are we on VLDR? Almost all the way back to Unch. Unch by lunch? Probably actually long before that. Really just a nasty
long gold here, guys. GOLD. Talked about how I wanted to take this trade. Let's do it. Now is where I think it's perfect. 5 minute, right? 1 up. I'm going to draw them out. 1 up. 2 up, 3 up, all coming in the same price zone, coming back towards the support, creating a wick there. Now I'm going to look for it to come right through that resistance, that 1966. We got in there at 1960s. Let's see if this can break out through the 1970s and get back up there towards 20 today. That's what I'm going to be having that outlook on the upside. Of course, we could take like 1990s, but let's see if we can start pushing up there on GOL.
Really well timed. Market pulled just as you entered on there, Mitch. That was spectacular. Really quickly on SOPA here. This trade is probably done, at least for the one that we outlined. SOPA did, in fact, take out 544. Not only did it test it, but it busted through that. Also got halted 564. So kudos to the original person that shouted this out into the first halt. This actually gave us a great trade here. Very, very easy here too, right? We were looking at 5 to 477 as your buy support area. We took out the first target. We're actually above that. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they actually unhalt here. If this does continue up real quick, I don't know if you're still in this, if you were unable to sell prior to the halt. I'm not sure what the plan is getting out of here. If this continues to show momentum, 637 not out of the question. That was our pre-market high from this morning. And if we take that out, oh my gosh, the fireworks might be crazy today. So good job on SOPA. This is the one that really seems to be moving. The rest of the market here looking really bad.
Yeah, it looks like it's did it halt after the 550s? Let me see here.
What, the SOPA? SOPA is halted. Yes. SOPA's halted again.
After the 550s.
Halt, by the way.
So this next one, though, I will say, guys, at least from my data, I love to get out right before the third halt. I can tell you right now, at least from my data, I love to get out. I'm okay if I'm in the first halt. I'm okay if I'm in the second halt. But once I'm in the second halt, I'm ready to get out. Another thing to take a look at is whenever you have a stock like that that's really kind of a parabolic, we'll call it parabolic move here. One of the things that you definitely need to take a look at in SOPA is how am I going to approach this on the reward side? Is a good way to do it is when you start seeing the order flow through on the time and sale, you just throw up a reward that if you got a quick pop fill, you would be happy with. That's how I like to approach it. So like, let's say if I was looking at SOPA right now, I would be looking at, okay, so can I get up there towards 6, right? I think 6 is a good level to kind of take some profit into. There's some resistance there at the 590s. So maybe as soon as it opens, I throw out 595 or 590s. And if I see an immediate fill, boom, I get the immediate fill. But some people are going to be watching it. It might go through 6. They're thinking about it can go to 650, and all of a sudden, boom, it's right back down to 575s, 560s, 550s. And so you have to know, hey, you're battling. There's a lot of people that are piling into this play. Only a few are going to take the money out.
That's right.
So keep that in your mentality so that you can always try to keep it and understand that, hey, I know that stocks can go to the moon, but I also want to be the type of person that takes profit when it's given.
And so looking at the time here, I think we got about a minute left on this SOPA halt. Last one here was 5 minutes exactly. This one halted at 10 o'clock and 31 seconds. So we have a minute and 20 seconds here till this opens.
All right, guys, back above VWAP for gold. I'm going to actually hit an ad here. I wanted to bottom out here, then come back on up to VWAP, and then we're going to look for an ad on gold. LAC, let's see how that one did. We did trade that one towards the upside, and that's why you sometimes get rid of it, guys. Take the profit when given. If it's showing you trend range, hey, especially on a day trade, you sometimes just got to get the hell out. All right, LAZR, I was looking for a VWAP bounce trade. It's down to 15. We'll see if we can get back on up there, but I wouldn't be jumping at it right now. SPY, is it holding below that 446? Yes, and actually put in a significant candle there on the 5 minute. Gold now starting to come back up. I'm watching for that ad, so I'm paying attention here, guys. We'll see if we can get that ad to come in here. 5 minute candle is going to open on up. We don't want it to take out these lows. You got like kind of a double bottom here. If it takes out 1954s, it could break down. A move back above 1962s can get it roaring. All right, what's going on out there? Chermo asking, but can you please show me how to add watermark on beta charts?
Sure. So any chart. So here real quick, this will only take 30. Oh,
Yeah, sorry about that. I pulled
All
it
good.
off.
This will only take 30 seconds here, right? So here is your chart. Ignore what's on the left side of the screen. Let's just focus on the chart. Any chart is the same, whether it's the chart widget or the chart within details. The operation is exactly the same. You click on the gear cog in the upper right, select appearance, and then turn on watermark. In here, you'll be able to change some of those settings. I just leave them at the visible settings. So again, gear cog, appearance, watermark.
All right, so what needs to happen
Open,
here,
and
guys?
we might actually go into a downside halt here. Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good, dude. Talk about it. SOPA opened up, and what did it open up? What did it spike to? What's the high?
The high on that spike is actually lower than the high that it halted at, right? So 551 here. We're currently printing 535, excuse me. Looks like we're actually curling back up towards this 544. So let me actually go to the 1 minute chart here.
She's a mover.
Like we might take out 544 again. We will see.
She's a mover. That's for sure.
This has definitely been the mover so far this morning. Really, longs in this market are really having some trouble. I'm about at do or die here with PayPal. If this takes another leg lower here, we might have to move on to the rest. SOPA unable to take out 544 so far.
NRG still working, guys. Still working in NRG. This is one of the ones that I really do like now. It created a third, fourth bottom there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the support there on NRG. There's SOPA.
There's SOPA right through 544 again. Volume actually picked up a little bit, went from buying. That flip pretty much took us through 544. Again, next spot here, the big one for me to look at is going to be 637 because that was the pre-market high, but we might as well take a note of this intraday high here at what, 590. Let me make sure I got that to the penny. 595. That is going to be your high print intraday. We'll see if we get there, but these are going to be the next levels I watch. To be quite honest with you, if you took this trade back from around the 5 handle when we talked about it, you should already either be out or be out partial with some of those profits booked. We've now seen 3 halts, 2 to the upside. Excuse me. We only seen 2 halts, both of them to the upside. Mitch just told you about the third halt. If that's a downside halt, we could be in some big trouble here. SOPA pulling now. So again, you should already be out of this trade if you took it. This was just a quick scalp. This isn't one of those go to the moon's diamond hands. We're all going to be rich things. It's not how it works.
Money. Who's getting that money out there today, guys? Let us know in the chat, guys. Or who's more like let's go out there, guys. Ryan is the pro master, says Zen Bullish.
Been using this thing for 7 years. I would hope I have some tips and tricks on how to use it for you guys. I will share them with you here.
I hope so too, guys. Still keeping this eye on this NRG and gold. Those are the 2 taken today on the swing trades. We did nail the LAC day trade. We're still into this gold here. We're looking for a push back into this area where we can get our ad here. Let's look if we can get this ad here. I'll even draw a green box there so we can kind of understand what the area is that we're going after. We'll see if we can get up in there and hit that ad and then look for the breakout above. What? Above this 975 going up there towards the 20. We'll see if we can get that move. Like always, guys, one thing to keep in mind is I took this trade off the 5 minutes. So one thing you want to do is try to stay on that 5 minute. Don't go to the shorter time frame. If you want to go back, that's okay, but I wouldn't go forward. Forward meaning toward the 1. Stay towards maybe the 15. And then you can see, okay, so a couple bottoms there. We're still looking good. We need to get back above that 1970, and then we can get that extension. All right, guys, what's going on out there? Made money on a Ford put, says Nocturnal Sky. Hey, power to you, man. If you're able to nail that one, then, hey, that's what I'd like to hear, dude. Keep going. That's a flawless victory. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going out there. Ron Willis here, out SOPA at 550. Ron, how did that trade go for you? Would love to hear about it. All right, Nocturnal saying, can you take a look at Cliff and U.S. Steel. All right, I'll take a
Yes.
look at that right now. I got you.
Hey, real quick on Cliff. Keep this
Yeah.
in mind when we're discussing whatever trade plan we're looking at on Cliff. This reports earnings on Friday before market. So if you don't want to be in for that print, you need to decide what it is that you're going to do by Thursday evening. Just a real quick note on that.
All right, guys, getting that pop here in gold here. Going to look for a quick little pop into the 60s here. Don't want to overreact. Just keeping an eye on it. Looking at the volume starting to pick up. That's what you wanted to see. So if we look here, guys, we're going to look at the volume. We're going to see how you see this decline in volume. We want to see a pop going into the move here. So that's the move there. We're getting into that green box. We'll look for the buy in a second here. And we want to see the volume kind of pop into that. Another thing that's happening here, we want to see the crossover of the MACD get above the yellow line here. So that's an exponential moving average. Look for this to cross on over and get back above that line. Make a move like this. All right, so I've drawn out the trade for us. I'm going to try to take some of these indicators off here so that you guys can watch the trade in live action. Let's see if we get it. All right, someone said they sold BAC still in BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, SI, and SIVB. Not bad trades out there. Easy, Mike. All right, what's going on? Jay saying banks very strong. Hey, banks were not a bad one to definitely take a look at. Gary Life 101. What's Gary Life? Is that like SpongeBob Gary?
I don't know what the hell you just said. SOPA making a move towards 595. No, man. Are you kidding?
You don't know the sponge, dude. Come on, man. That's where I get a few
moments later.
A few moments later.
Well, you learn something every day.
I got you, bro. I got you. Got to teach my man about the sponge.
I'm here to learn from you, Mitch. I'm here to learn from you and from our.
All right, there you guys have it. We got our little pop here. We're gonna look to add here on gold. Boom. Just got my ad here. Oh, well, didn't get a fill there. So let's.
Ron, man, you were in at 406 and out at 550. You can put your feet up for the rest of the day. Even if this goes higher, don't worry. I mean, that's still a really good trade. You must almost bottom tick that. Unbelievable. Thing looked like it went to 402, 401. Nice buy there on the reversal.
Trying to get my ad. Still haven't gotten my ad filled. It went through my level, so I'm just looking for it right now. See if we can get a little dip here to the 62s. It doesn't want to dip there for me. Come on. Being a little picky here on the like kind of the average. But whenever I add, I try to be picky. I'd rather be picky on my ad. Because it just increases risk. That's all it does. I know that you can think, oh, it increases reward. Yeah, but to me, I always focus on risk first.
You as well you should, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
what
I'm worried about.
Come. If you properly focus on your risk, the rewards will come.
Boom. 62s. Let's get it. Let's see if this holds now. Now we just got that ad in the green box, which we were talking about. That's where we wanted to get the ad. Now we're looking for the stock to continue through and get to the resistance. Resistance on up here towards 1967. And we want to see a breakout to 1975s. We'll see if we get it in gold.
Might have another trade setting up here in Cody. Looks like this actually just kind of took out 9 here. 930, 940 going to be your spots from the pre-market. Very, very similar to SOPA. Dipped out of the open, but kind of taking it back here. To me, as far as an actual buy here, I'd want to see some more volume pour in here. These volume sticks not big enough to move it like SOPA moved. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll note the spots, and we can come back to that. Let's take a look at SOPA because it looks like that was still in this area. To me, it feels like 595 is going to get tested here. We'll wait and see.
All right, guys. The airline's working well today, guys. The reopening trade, baby. Let's take a look at some of these.
They're on my scanner right now, along with one of the cruise lines.
And what's happening to the overall market?
Oh,
it was actually going down when these stocks were going up. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, guys. That's that decoupling from the relationship. Look at CCL today, holding really well. Even though it did a 10% move, it's still holding really well. I like these trades here. I'm glad I got into AAL. Another one that I have put on is going to be JetBlue. JetBlue is one that I'm looking for to get above 15 and hold today, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. We drew this out in the pre-market. That circle, we drew it in the pre-market. We're looking for that trend to hold. Look how it comes right down and kisses it. Kisses that. That's a throwback. When you break out of a trend line and you come right back to that trend line, that's called
Great
a
entry
throwback.
spot, by the way. Great entry spot.
And some people take it like this. They'll take it on the breakout, half sizing, look for the pullback, add that half sizing. Now they have a full position, and they look to take half of it off at the high and then let the rest of it work. That's how some people like to approach it on a day trade.
Harley Davidson high of the day here after the quality earnings report this morning.
You hog.
And actually above that 40 level, pretty bullish here, especially if we can build above. Next spot here, I think, would be 43.50. On semiconductor appearing on my scanner. This has been pretty strong recently too. This one, as far as a trade goes, we definitely want to take out yesterday's high. Still about $1 away from that. Volume seems pretty anemic today, so I'd actually be careful on this. PayPal appearing on an upside relative volume scanner. You got to be kidding. Let me just pinch myself and make sure I'm awake here. I'll be damned. PayPal holding in there and looking to trade back up. We'll see. By the way, I'm still in, but I'm on the fence here. I'm on that line. Probably gonna make a decision on this one way or another today. We shall see. Peloton's okay. So as far as Peloton, we talked a lot about this potentially moving in both directions today. Very strong out of the gate on good volume. You love to see it. The one thing I will say is that as far as the Peloton bulls go, it's great that we're able to stay above 30 here and build, and on good volume too. This is not just light volume. The more we consolidate here, the more I think there's going to be a next leg this afternoon. And given the earnings report and some of the news flow that we've seen, I actually think we might get an upside pop here. I will say this, though. There is absolutely no way that I would hold this trade through earnings. I have no idea what to expect. And more so, if I'm able to get some profit during the day, the last thing I want to do is have that tied up in a binary event after hours. I'll go ahead and take that profit before the bell here today. But encouraging movement here on Peloton. Can't believe I'm saying it, but we look at the charts. We put our biases aside and we look at the charts.
All right, that SOPA is just kind of piling in some volume, getting the consolidation out there. So keep your eyes on that. We'll watch that. Gold, looking to see if I finally get this breakout here on the 5-minute. It is looking well here. Let's see if we can continue this breakout here on gold. Let's see resistance come into play around 1967. Then we're looking for that continuation. We'll see if we get that. Of course, let's take a look at the sectors, right? So basic materials is pushing. So I'm glad that I'm in that sector, right? And so from that sector, what is hot in the industries? Work backwards, not forward, guys. So aluminum, really hot. AAL up 10% on the day, guys. You guys could have been watching aluminum. Look at that push. Big push there. I called out this CENX early on, and that one's been still holding well there, up there towards 1788. Coal doing really well. You could take a look at CEIX. That's the one that you guys can take a look at. It's on a pullback. HCC is interesting there near the VWAP there. And BTU coming on back here. We'll see if it takes out the high 1350s there. That's a good one to maybe take a spot off the 13s. But I would look for a little test down there. But it's interesting there, BTU.
And real quick here, shout out to our chat here. David Lynn is saying, Peloton, didn't they report this morning after I just said that the Peloton earnings are this evening? You are absolutely correct. They reported their numbers this morning. However, the conference call is this evening. That's the event that I'm actually really waiting for. But do me a favor and smash the like, because we have the best audience on any of these morning shows. Everyone is paying attention. Everyone is making sure that we get the information correct. David, thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I completely misspoke. The conference call is after today. That's when you're going to get the questions from the analysts. That's when you're going to get more color on a lot of what's going on here for Peloton. Big shout out to our chat who's always watching things. Please hit that like. And I'm not going to be like Mitch and say you need to smash the like and abuse the like and pound it and anything. If you want to just
use it
like a normal person, just do it. Just click it like
use it.
Good job, David. Forward guided.
pull.
You got that right, Jeff Dees. Whew.
Do like the NFL coaches do, just kick your kicker. No.
Oh God, then too soon for the Urban Meyer.
Well, I mean, they didn't do much better with the hire, right?
Oh, Doug Peter, you're not a Peterson fan?
Oh, not a Doug Peterson fan.
Yeah, we'll see.
That I can tell you, at least the Eagles went to when he went over there.
They won the Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Let's just be honest. My man Fultz went on a
Okay.
on a rampage because
Yeah.
I mean it just that was a lucky. There's sometimes lucky Super Bowls, like we can talk about Eli's Super Bowls. There's luck out there, guys. Sometimes luck will fall in your lap. You can't go wrong with it. Daniel saying, I like Enphase earnings today for a YOLO weekly. I would be careful with that one, man. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, man. But just be careful, man. I have to say, like, when you take YOLO earning calls, that is literally as gambling as it gets.
Yeah, you know what? And there are a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys that trade earnings, and more power to you. I'll be honest. Especially recently, I like to trade earnings too. It's really nice to have positions just kind of multiply if you're right. But in environments like this where the trading is tough, especially me being an upside trader for the most part, you know, things have not been trading to the upside. I dial it back, right? There's no reason for me to play something where I don't really feel good about that. Preservation of capital should always be a top goal.
All right, guys. Lumber doing really well today. Also, department and recreational vehicles. So you guys can see Hog is leading that recreational vehicle push. You guys can watch that. Department stores, Macy's leading the way. JWN also there. Look at Macy's chart today. That's looking pretty significant there. Nice little hold. The VWAP pushed on up there towards the resistance. We'll see what happens in that trade there. Lodging still up today. I've been watching this for the reopening trade. Can Hilton continue leading us up? Of course, that's kind of the leader there. I drawed it out right here when we were at this 145. We're looking stronger there in the lodging. So I really do feel reopening trade is fully on here. Resorts and casinos can show us also. Playa doing well today. Look at that chart. Starting to push on up on the daily chart. Probably can take out 9. Penn doing well today. MGM. Look at this 3-day push. Boom. Reopening trade is on, guys. Keep it on watch. I think some of these you definitely got to watch. VAC. This is the vacation one that I like from Marriott. It's kind of like an Airbnb, but Marriott's version. We'll see if this one can continue making moves. It does look like it wants to break on out here through the 165, get back up there towards the 180s. We'll see how this one works. This is VAC. All right, guys. Just keeping these trades working right now. NRG, I am a little bit in the red there, but not much. I mean, I'm down about $9 there. Looking at that one to see if it's going to hold here 40s. NRG is one that I've been looking at it. As long as it can hold kind of these lows here on the 1 hour, we're going to still look good here. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw that out there. That's the 39.82. We'll send an alert if it breaks it and we'll get out. But I'm looking for this one to get back up there towards 41 by the end of the close today.
You know, real quick, Mitch, you were talking about the Macy's chart here. This one actually is kind of an interesting chart. Looking at this, I do think that we're in this compression zone. You can draw the lines any way that you want. In fact, you could probably even tighten this up a little bit, which I'll do right here. But anyway, you could draw the lines any way you want. I do think that we're compressing. If we end up breaking out of this, you could see a nice little pop like we've seen here in the past. Please note, though, if you do get a pop like this, it might be worth it to take gains or at least some of your gains, because in each case it does pull back. Even if it doesn't give back the entire move, it does pull back. So if you like it for a longer term, on a longer term basis, you can actually take some of those gains off and then reload on that pullback here. This was a really good spot on the daily chart. You were flipping through them a little too quick. I wasn't looking at your screen. I didn't see the time frame that you had pulled up. The weekly gives you almost the exact same thing. And the hourly, although that's a zoomed in chart, you can see that we are actually holding that 23.87. Let's just call it 24 in terms of support on the downside there.
All right, letting this gold trade work here for us. And that's the idea here, is letting the trade work here. A lot of people start getting way too emotional in moments like this. I just literally try to be hands off and emotionless. here. The key is just to stick to what you had the objective was. A breakout through 1967, going towards 1975, then a breakout to 20s. That's what we're looking for, guys. We'll see if we can get that volume to really come in here and get that breakout around the 1970s.
I like that gold trade. That was really, really well timed. I said that before. I'd say it's worth saying again. Really, really well timed gold trade there.
All right, what's going on out there? The Mannings football dynasty royalty. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
all right,
they definitely are. They definitely are. And
yeah,
I like all three. I even like Cooper, even though he didn't play. He's hilarious. So
it's all about Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, by the way, should we remind everyone we're still on for that, right, Mitch?
Yeah, we're still on for that, baby.
Just and win-loss, right? No
win
spread,
loss.
no line, win-loss, $40.
Money lines, baby. Money lines, what I like. To tell you the truth, Ryan, spreads are just for the people that don't know gambling. I'll be honest. Because spreads, what is a spread? How are spreads made, right? They're made with an algorithm that gets it as close to possible where it can capture the minds of the, we'll say, gamblers instead here, the investors. But yeah, I think that's what you see a lot of the times with the spreads. They're made to trap people.
The spreads are made for Vegas to take your money. The house always wins. Even if you get a couple of wins, the house in the long run is always going to get wins. That's what the spreads are. It's amazing how they end up setting those. Really quick, let me address the question here from Rashard. Yep, I'm going to make sure I get
thoughts on Sopa now. Chicken noodle.
That's actually not bad. Thoughts on Sopa now. First of all, if you shorted that pop, take your gains here because now we're actually coming into one of the support levels that we identified. If you're looking for a long here, be careful, right? We already had this momentum move out of the gate. So really, we don't know that this momentum is going to pick up unless some of these levels are taken out. And the 544 level, we've been dancing around that quite a bit today. So for me, if we come into 477 and you hold here for more than just 20 seconds, maybe you can take a potential bounce play, have a really, really tight leash on that. I'd be more inclined to scalp this if we end up taking out 595 on volume. I'm not saying we definitely get to 637, but it's possible. Even if you were to get 10 or 15 cents here on a scalp, that would be great. And if you already hit this once, you're just patting your wallet at that point. So that's my thought here on Sopa. No position right now. And me personally, I would pass if this came into 477. I'm going to have to get rolling here in a few minutes. I got a lot of stuff to do today. I'm not going to be able to babysit this. We got the move that we were trying to get already. So no reason why this can't perform again, but be careful. And if you do play this again, have really tight stops.
All right, that's perfectly said here by Ryan. Ryan, we'll get you on out of here in about 2 minutes. You can go ahead and knock out some work. Like always, guys, we're going to keep going here on Live Trading with Benzinga. You guys do me the favor. Let's hit that like button. I need to see some likes in the chat. I need to see some likes out there, guys. We got over 557 people watching. Let's see how many likes we got right now. We're at 203, guys. Let's get us to 400, guys. I'm asking for 200 more likes. So if you guys appreciated us going through all these stocks, trading live in front of you guys, because, I mean, we could be hiding out. But we want to show you guys everything, show you the process, how we attack it out there in the market. So hit that like. Let's keep it going, guys.
And the market tried to bounce here, but we are kind of pulling back in here. So just be careful. We definitely move to the downside.
Yeah, that's a trappy type of look, right? We wanted to see if we were going to look for that huge upside move above 447, right? And this, it's so wicky right now, guys. Where you see these long, big wicks, be careful, guys. There's a lot of selling and buying pressure on both sides right now. And so now we could come back out and take that low. And really, I mean, this is not good, guys, because we're not being able to get back above this 448. And we've been fighting this zone. Yesterday, we flushed through it. Now we couldn't get back above 447. Now we're going to fight the 446. Then we make our way to 445. All right, trying to let this gold trade work here. It's up there towards 68 on the offer side. We'll see here 70s probably soon here. 69 showing up on the offer side. We'll see if we can get that push through the 70s and then really start seeing gold move here. So gold is one that I've been watching on the index, right? And so if you look here at the index, I was watching at this here, looking for it to come push on up there through here, start getting on up there. So let's see if gold can really start driving here. What are some gold plays that are maybe lagging? Let's see at that. Let's see what we can find a play that you guys can be going after here. So let's go down the line here, see what we find. GFI.
Let me jump in here. Let me jump in here real quick. DCFC was being shouted by Ron in the chat here. Definitely review the news here in pro. Looks like DCFC is up because of a tweet from the White House saying, I'm looking forward to hosting folks from Tritium at the White House today. Like manufacturers large and small, they're creating good paying jobs to build a future. It'd be great if there were more CEOs going there. You could see that that's clearly affecting the stock. That's why we're moving here. Now we are up on volume. We do have a pretty big gap in here. So if you trade this, be very, very careful. Got to keep your stops tight. To me, the news here is past. So unless this sets up for some type of scalp, I'm just not going to take this. Understand why the stock is moving. We've already in multiple halts here as well.
All right. Someone want me to take a look at seed. Seed is, to me, that's when you get a pattern like this where a pattern breaks out, but then when it comes down, it never catches support and it makes down the 100% of move, then everyone tries to call these levels as resistance and support, and that it's still in the trend. But essentially, when you break 100% of the trend and you retrace all of it, it's a brand new trend. It's a brand new trend here on this pop. So I would just be looking at these three candles right now to determine how the strength is really looking. It's not based off, you can go off of those levels, but we learn in that fibs retracement levels, you hear this all the time. What do you hear? You hear the 61.8. You hear the 50% retracement. One thing you don't hear is 100%, because 100% retracement, this essentially means the trend has finished.
Good point. And real quick here, I definitely got some bones to pick here. David again coming after me here. Ryan on Peloton, I believe the conference call also happened this morning. I'm looking through my news feed here just so you understand why I was saying what I was saying. Here's the earnings graphic that we had where it says Peloton after the close today. That was wrong. I'm sorry about that. It also
it wasn't wrong. They chose to report early, Ryan.
Okay. So that's okay. Actually, that's really helpful, Mitch.
I got you, dude.
I did not know that. So, and then what I was reading that for you here is it says the conference call is scheduled today. I will have a talk with our news desk and see if we can update these a little bit quicker. When you're reviewing the news feed, yes, it says the conference call is underway, and they were giving. Here we go. Began at 8:30 a.m. this morning Eastern time, and we're giving you headlines out of that. So, good looking out there. Thank you, Mitch, for the color on them reporting a little bit early. I will see what we can do to kind of tighten that up in terms of our messaging here.
Well, I gotta say, gold. Well, very nice, very nice. Let's go. Let's start moving, gold.
By the way, real quick, back to Peloton here. We were just talking about 20 minutes ago or so. We were talking about how it was building in this area here, and it looks to take the next leg. Felt like up if the volume stayed in there. Well, look what happened. Green volume poured in here. It in fact did take the next leg up. We're up 2 points over that. I actually did comb my hair this morning, Jeff. Nice try.
There's no need to comb. That's why I get my hair real short.
I just got a haircut. My hair is much shorter. I actually can comb it with my hand.
Right? That's the good part of having the short hair.
Right.
You don't look like a mess.
I actually had my haircut scheduled for last week, and a blizzard rolled through town, and I was like, I don't know. We'll have to go back. We'll do it next week.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it looks like I'm getting a call here. J Pal, you can wait. I'll see you later, man. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what happened out there. I love gold. Pinky on up, guys. We'll see if it can continue moving on up there. It got towards 74s. Didn't get to the 75s. I'm looking for it to step through that 75 now. See if some stepping up action happens there. If you see there's 1,000 orders that went through at 72. 1,000 orders that went through at 72. Those are the orders that I try to pay attention to here. Those 100 orders that are going through there, That's algorithmic volume. I could care less about that right now. I'm paying attention to the bigger orders right now on gold. Let's see if we can continue making this move on up and continue pushing through. ADP was one that I was looking for potentially for a short. When the market bounced, it bounced significantly here. I would maybe look for a short here below this 206.20 mark, and you're looking for a breakdown of this pattern, and then you're looking for a resistance around this 206.50s to hold. If you want to look for a short there, I'm just going to keep looking at gold, but my alert did go off there. So 5-minute pattern, this is what we're trading it on. We got to be careful with trading it into the 1-minute pattern because we're going to get a little bit too edgy and we're going to want to take profits too quickly here. So I'm letting the trade work. We're all the way down here in the 960s here. Our average is, because I know that we got the ad, 1960.05, guys. So we're perfectly set there. We're going to let this trade work. The key here now is that we don't break into the throwback zone. So like 1965. So we wanted to, if it holds that, it's looking good and can take out that 1975, get up there towards the 20 today. I'm letting this gold trade work here. This was the trade of the day, right? We talked about how potentially gold can make the move. This is what we want. We want to sometimes be really objective. Hey, I'm looking for gold. Hey, I found gold. I took gold. Let's trade it. Boom. Make it simple. Don't make it complicated sometimes. It's definitely going to help you guys out.
Absolutely. Totally second that. That's exactly what we did on SOPA too. We made that as simple as we could, gave you levels prior to the trade, gave you commentary during the trade, and that ended up working out pretty nicely for the group here this morning.
Dante, if you're kind of bored from us here, I mean, man, I don't know what you're going to get out there. So go ahead and pay thousands for a chat room. Don't come back. We don't want you. We don't want you. You cannot come back.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, my friend.
No. We'll be all right, guys. No worries. We don't need everybody here. We just need the people that are going to help each other out.
That's right.
Because guess what?
Right.
For me,
Run, bitch! Run!
run away, because I'm looking at stocks that are moving here, baby. Let's go. Let's get this gold moving on up. See if we get that breakout through that 1975. Good little pullback there. We'll see if it takes out the highs there.
CENX really, really strong today. This is an aluminum play here. Looks like this is going for highs. This has been pounded highs all day. This also tried to consolidate earlier today. It took the next leg up off the 17.
When that consolidation happened, Ryan, that's exactly the one that I called out. Why? The leader, AA, was really pushing. Yeah. So I looked into the industry. What was going sideways at that time was CENX. It gives you an opportunity to try to find the momentum in the industries and look for what I called the laggard play. Perfect laggard play right here. Lags right behind the industry leader, AA, and then you see a takeoff. You look for that to start showing a bullish setup on CNX, and you can take it based off the industry move, not just only your own stock. And I think this helps you when you're trying to pick stocks, right? Stock picking is so important too, right? We can trade everything under the sun, but I don't want to trade everything under the sun. I want to trade stocks that are trading with the herd, trading with the industries that are going on up. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Let's go.
Peloton moving, and I don't know why. Earnings conference call and acquisition rumors would be your very quick synopsis on that.
Yeah, I think in the long run, I think the two forefront for me are Apple and Nike to step up in that area. I think Apple would be something that would be surprising because they normally don't go after a company at this price. It'd just be massive for them to take that. But they have the cash. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
They have the cash. They could take it. And so to me, I think it's all about connected health. If Apple can really see them jumping in deep into connected health, then maybe they go after Peloton. Nike,
Apple pretty much started that connected health with the watch, and I believe that there's like a watch that like will automatically report to your healthcare professional what the readings and all of that. So the connected health thing is a big thing, and adding exercise equipment to that. That's also why I thought nutrition was going to be one of those angles, because nutrition is obviously paramount to your health. And I wish that in this country we would discuss that more, especially conversed against medicine, right?
All right, guys.
Huge part of your health.
You know how I love to point out big orders here, guys. Look at this 10,000 share order going through at 1971s. That's so important there, guys. So now for me, big boy stepped up there at 1970. I could care less as long as this stock continues above 1970s right now. We're looking like we got this upside push. Let's see if we can get towards the 20 here. All right, what's going on out there? Amazon would probably use the metrics for the medical insurance. Yeah, I think so. But I think Amazon right now is in a period of wait and see. Why? Because they were doing so well. I'm telling you, they were kicking butt in the pandemic, and now it's kind of more these. What do they get into? I think you kind of. And you see the Amazon chart, right? It's not the biggest and best chart right now. I would much rather have, let's say, Apple. That's still looking strong. All right, let's go ahead. And I want to invite my trader in here. Let's reach out to Devin, get him on here.
Joel at Bike-a-ton.
If Joel got on Peloton as a trainer, I would buy a Peloton.
That would be awesome. That actually would really make it worth it for me too.
I literally would train with Joel every morning.
He get me fired up. He just get me pumped up to work out.
Dude, I wake up at 4. I would wake up at 3 for Joel.
Chris is saying nutrition and exercise is usually the best long-term resolution for many diseases. Facts, my friend. Facts.
That's why I work out every day, man.
Right. It's exactly right.
At least 6 out of 7 days I'm probably in the gym.
Doing something, whether it's lifting, cardio, something.
Yeah, and if it's and people think that you do got to go to the gym. I mean, if you're one of those people that just like doing things around the house, just do things around the house every day. That's a workout itself.
So one of the things that I used to do before I actually bought my weight set, I hate the gym. I'll never go to the gym, but I will work out as long as my body allows me to do it. One of the things that I used to do around my house, I get water delivery, that Hinkley and Spring, those big bottles that you put into like the water tower that gives you hot or cold water. Those things weigh a good amount, and you can actually use those in just daily activities, just like Mitch is talking about, whether they're, any type of like rep exercise where you're actually pulling or lifting it, or simply just moving it around. There are plenty of things that you can do in your house to get yourself some type of workout. I mean, hell, just walking outside is going to be good for you.
All right, guys, looking for a pullback here in the fun. I'm willing to take it, guys. Need to see a pullback to 3. You could get in here and risk off of, let's say, the 285s, but I'm looking for a quick pullback here, and I want to see some big share size to join the party. So if you look in the time and sales, what do you see right now? You see 100s, 200s. Now you're starting to see the thousands starting to flow. 306, 3,000, 306, 1,500, 306, 3,000. So now I'm looking for bigger orders, stepping on up there. Now 4,000 shares going through at 306. That's someone building a position, at least in my mind. So now I'd look for it to pull back to come into 3, pressure that guy that got a little bit too quick there on the 306s. And then we're going to look to get in here at $3. Let me see if I can even get this one here at 3. Looking to get it at 3 here, but it needs a pullback. So I'll use the hourly to kind of get. I use the hourly there to kind of look for the pullback, right? The throwback. We kind of already did throw back there through the 3s, so maybe we might not get that touch. We got above 302s, then it went to 296, now above 3s. So maybe we can look for a 302 or 301 touch. That's kind of like where we got to right now. But definitely there's some volume in there around the 306s, and I just saw 1,000 shares at 07. But definitely the 306 right now is where that fighting zone is. We'll see if we can get the fun to keep moving and get that pullback there. I like the hourly look. If you're looking at this one, I would take a look at the hourly look because you could take out that 340s there. All right, let's go.
Mitch, I'm going to get out of your hair here. Thanks.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get you on out of here, my friend. I appreciate you, like always, coming in here, knocking it out. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the week?
Well, I'm going to be watching the CPI numbers on Thursday, right? I actually think this market could kind of be choppy and boring like it's been until we get those CPI numbers. We'll see. I am going to watch SOPA because that was a great long trade from today that actually worked out. And although I got stopped out of PayPal here, I will watch this for re-entry because I do think that thesis is still intact. But again, we talked about capital management and capital preservation. That's the phase that we're in right now. So we're going to look for that to set up again.
All right, looking right here to gold. Gold up there now into the 1978s. We'll look for that to nail that down. Appreciate you like always, Ryan. We'll see you next time, my friend. Thank you. All right, so
Boom shakalaka.
let's go ahead. Let's get to it, guys. Let's see if we can get this gold to continue on through the 80s, and then we can take some profit into that 80s. Look for the push up there towards the 20s. That's what we're looking for right now. Starting to see a little bit of a slowdown there in the 77s, so might just take 100 off here, but let's look for the push into the 80s. For right now, I'm keeping a trend line drawn for me, just kind of scrolling on up with it. As long as it can kind of hold these pullbacks here, it could pull back, let's say, towards 1973, but we don't want to break that. We want it to continue into the 80s, take some profit. Dun, dun, dun. How did that ADP look? Looks like it's starting to push. That was a look that I was actually looking to potentially maybe get a short. That's pushing out well there. So glad I didn't take that one there. All right. Also, NRG still working here in the 40s, guys. I might add to this position. It's a smaller position right now. It's a swing trade NRG here. We got in at 40.06. It went down towards 39.91s, but we're looking for it to take out 41 today. Could add here around 40 and look for it to continue on up. All right, guys, catching up with the chat. I'm going to go ahead and take some stocks from the chat. And in a few seconds, we're going to be having on Devin. So you guys out there, smash the like, guys. We talked about some books last time. So if you guys want to ask him for some books, you can take a look. All right, 257 likes. We need to get to at least 300, guys. Come on, I would ask for 400, but let's get it at least at 300. If you guys appreciate us sticking around and taking these trades live in front of you, hit that like. Let's go ahead. My girlfriend is way better than a Peloton bike. I mean, the Postman, man. Getting your workout? At least you're getting your workout, man. It's Cliff X being called out. We'll see what happened on that. Gary Life says, nice call on gold. We'll see what happens. I mean, it doesn't always mean that we're going to get into the profits. The only thing we can do is set up trades, guys. That's it. Cat for a swing. Cat? Let's take a look. Interesting. Let's take a look here. It's definitely pulled back enough. Let's look at the weekly here. Yeah, I like it off the weekly support. You see here? See kind of how you got this kind of bottoming action right there and right here. So it's a couple layers of support. Now you're starting to close above these levels, above 200. So for me, if it holds 198 here, I like the trade. It's not a bad one if you're looking for a swing. Like always, Kobe, determine your own risk spot. But I kind of like it. It's not a bad one. Square, I don't want to try the payment stocks for swings, but I'll take a look at it for you. All right, gold still working there. Got into the 80s for a second, holding the 75, holding the 9 EMA pullback. So right now we're just letting it work. We'll see what happens on that one. See, Square for me, until this weekly changes, I wouldn't take it. Because it could take out that low. Next thing you know, you're down below 90s. So to me, until this trend changes, and I warned about this stock, about red flags in payment stocks here, guys, up here. Why did I warn? Because of the Visa news about potentially DOJ stepping on in. And since then, payment stocks have been so out of favor, you can't even imagine. LAC, I know it was doing well again. I didn't want to take a look at it because I was going to get a little addicted to taking the shot there. Let's take a look here. 5-minute candle. Now you kind of building up a deeper time frame, right? We took this one out the gate for the momentum. I would look for a pullback into that area. You got the throwback hold. You got 3 resistance, right? A hold to support down here. This was the last hold to support. It tested it, wicked it for a second. Now recovered on up. I'd look for maybe a 27.45, but it looks like it's just trying to take out the highs. It's not a bad trade. I just missed it already, and I already got the gains right out the gates, so I'm just keeping an eye on it now. But LAC was an alert, and it was a daily alert that went off for me through the 27s on the upside here. So keep your eyes on this one. It is trying to come on back. That's LAC. All right, LAZR was one that I was looking for, a 1550 bounce here, guys. And look how this one got the bounce there and it's kept on going up. Why was I looking at this one? Because LADR was one that LADR, it's LZAR. LD, what's the other LD? Why am I messing it up here? A VLDR. Boom, there you go. Sometimes you get a little brain fart there. So I was looking for this one to kind of push the other one on up. Now I'm looking for this one to kind of catch support, right? And so where does it catch support? Where am I looking for? Looking for the rule of three. 1 attempt to break down, 2 attempt to break down, 3 attempt to break down. And then we actually break through that support there. Now we get this 4th bottom. I would look to see if we could come back down and test this. Use this as the bottom here. Look for a little test towards 430s and then see it get strong through the 470s if you're looking for a dip buy in VLDR. All right, let's see if we got the likes to bring on my man Devin. We need about 16 more likes, guys. We got 523 people watching here. Do me the favor, take a second right now, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's hit the like. Let's get another trader on here to bring some perspective into it. And that's what it's all about. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Hit that like, guys. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on out there. I'm looking to see if gold can take that push. What did we see right now? I always try to call out the big order sizes for you guys. And look here, guys. So we called out the 10,000 order. Look how you get 16,000 at 1977. That's very important. Let's see if we can get back above that 1977 and see the push into the 80s here. If not, you could get a reversal, and that could have been someone selling out a bigger position. So you got to be quick here to make your decision. All right, guys, don't want to see 1973s show up here. If that's what happens, I'm going to go ahead and take half of the size off and look for the rest of the trade to continue working. All right, looking at the likes there, we got 307. That means it is Devin time, guys. So do me the favor, guys. Say hello to Devin. We'll go ahead and bring him on here. As we do, we like to bring on traders with different perspective. If you're out there and you want to go ahead and join live trading with Benzinga, reach out to me. That's the way we'll go after it, and definitely smash that like. Let's bring him on. What's going on, my man?
How we doing?
Not too bad. It looks like you're definitely having a day. Looks like, are you on the right mic? Am I picking up a different mic? Just check it really quickly at the wheel. At the bottom.
Yeah, I'll check it really quick here. Yeah, it says it's
perfect. No worries. Let's just keep rolling. No worries. I hear you perfectly fine. Let's go ahead. Let's get right to it. How you been, man? You doing a little bit of traveling trading?
Yeah. Just traveling and for the month of February here. Been about a week.
Gotta enjoy it. I'll tell you what, I'm a little jealous, Devin. I wish I was taking a little vacation now and doing some trading, but hey, we all can't do it. I'm here and working for Benzinga. You're there nailing it down. Let's get into your trades and see what you saw out there today, or maybe something you saw at the end of last week. You go ahead and review maybe a trade or two, and then also see if you can maybe give us a look going forward.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely. I can go. I got my screen shared here. So
all right, go
pull that up. I'll move this out of the way.
Yeah, I got you. I'll put it up now. Boom.
Sick. Awesome. But yeah, overall, I mean, the market's been extremely choppy. It hasn't been the easiest to trade, but I've been navigating it super well. I've only had one red day in the past 3 weeks. So I've just been trying to stay consistent, take those A+ setups. And it's not easy to do in this choppy market. I mean, this morning I started very red. I took a pretty red trade off the open and then managed to make it back in one single good trade, which I think shows the power of risk management. I can just like break down that trade right now, actually. So off the open, I got short on Tesla, and I was up super nice and ended up getting totally faked out up there. So I cut my losses here, and I was down quite a bit. And then we started to roll back over, and I realized this thing was much weaker than the overall market. We were breaking below VWAP, and I totally sniped this entry here. We flushed down, and I caught this entire move down here, which was a super nice win. And I made back my entire loss and some profits on that one. And yeah, I just my risk management may be different than other people's. I trade options, so I don't necessarily have like a set like a stop loss that automatically hits. So it's all mental stop losses. So it's super important to be really disciplined with those, because like how I always like to look at it is you're always better off just getting out of the trade if it's not going in your direction, because you can always re-enter and probably get a better entry. And that's exactly what happened here. Was, you know, I exited the second this thing started faking out. I gave it some time, and who knows what I would have done on like this candle here when it started pushing up. And then when it came back down, I just sniped that re-entry, and it was much easier to do that, especially emotionally, than holding through all that. So that's the important thing to remember when cutting losses. You can always just take a step back, reevaluate the trade, and put together a new plan, especially off the open like this. When you're trading off the open, it's super high risk, and you have to be good at managing your risk if you're going to trade right off the open like this. So I caught that move, and then I actually caught this move up here as well. So caught this whole move down, super nice move, and then I caught this move up here. So small green day. But yeah, that's what today looked like. I've only traded 3 stocks this entire month so far, so just been honing the focus in on just a few stocks. So
all right, guys. I did get out of half of that position of gold. I'm going to keep holding on here. I'm calling out BTU. Looking great there to continue. We'll see what happens on that one. Also, LAZR continuing. And let's see what other one I have that went off here. Let's see how my NRG starts going. You know, this is one that I've been in since the open. There you guys see the entry here. We're looking for it to get back on up there through the VWAP and get up there towards 41. SPY is taking a jump right now, guys. So if you guys are looking at that, you guys are seeing that 448 on the upside, next resistance. We got out of the opening range on the 447s. That's what you want to see hold on the downside. Let's see if it takes out the 448 40s and 448 50s there. All right, coming back to you, Devin.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at SPY here, the price action has been absolutely insane. It's just like non-existent. So quick scalps have been the move for me. Like that's how I've been able to stay so consistent over the past, or just throughout this year in general, is just taking those quick scalps and not feeling like I need to catch these massive moves in my direction. Entries for me are super important, especially in these markets, because the entry determines my risk on the trade a lot of times. And my goal with every single entry in a trade when trading options is to instantly be in the money. And the reason for that is because if I'm instantly in the money, my stop loss is instantly break even. So my goal is to nail that entry. That stock right away has momentum into the direction that I'm trading it in. And then I can set my stop for break even, which allows me to have very few red days. So that's a piece of advice I have for anyone that's struggling within this chop, is really focus on those entries. And, you know, if you nail that entry, you should be good as far as risk management. And I recommend just setting your stop for break even right away, so that way the trade doesn't flip on you. Because when stocks chop up and down all day long, it's very easy to like test a level and then it pushes away in your direction. You get chopped out, and you can get stopped out like 3-4 different times at a single level, which I've had happen. And that can really cause for a bad day. So one stock I really like right now, though, is actually Amazon. Amazon's pretty interesting because it has a wick fill on the daily here if this chart loads. Let's see here. There we go. So as you can see here, something that happened. So we had earnings, obviously, right? So we had that big gap up, and that day was absolutely insane. One thing you can do is you can mark the high and low of the candle body, not the wicks itself. And we already had the wick fill to the upside where we broke the high of this candle body and had that massive push up. But we also have a wick fill to the downside here, which we bounced directly off of today. So I'm watching this level right here, 3,111.14, which is the bottom of this candle body here. And as you can see here, we bounced right on it today. Once the market got weak, we came down and we bounced directly on that level. But I'm going to continue watching that level throughout the rest of this week because honestly, if we break that level, we have room all the way down to close to 3,000 there. So this is going to be a pretty key one I'm watching as well. Yeah.
Sorry, I was on mute there. All right, well, we'll definitely keep this one on watch. I've been watching it myself. We've seen if we could ever recover, and it doesn't look good, really. I mean, at least from my eyes, I see if we could hold above, let's say, this 3170, then yeah, I think you're hitting resistance literally right now. Let's see if we can get back on up there. Apple was really the one that I'm really more along concerned of because it does look like on the hourly, like we wanted to break down to the support. 170, if we break that on the downside, I think it could really kind of flush down, but we're getting a little bit of a stronger day today. So that's a good look. We don't want to see it try to take out those 24 and from the 25th lows that were in January. We'll see if we get back up below 170s on here on Apple, but it is holding well. I mean, if you look at the weekly, that was a strong candle that it put in when it recovered. We'll see if it can get back on up there and get towards the 180s. Definitely Apple is so important. I mean, we're going to keep watching Tesla and stuff like that. But I mean, right now, when you look at it, a lot of this is the leaders and how they're holding up.
Yeah, this thing's relatively strong if you compare it to a lot of other things.
Yeah, I mean, the chart looks like a straight up chart. I mean, doesn't look like one of these charts that you see massive pullbacks on. And so I think this is always one that like you keep it on watch. When you see Apple turn around and you see it turn around hard, look what happened the days that you did see 6 straight days of Apple going down. Those are the days that you saw the market really weak and it was trying to take out lows. So I always try to keep these as like just bogeys. Like if I see Apple up or down, I take a look at the overall market and just kind of be like, okay, so how's that reacting? Because we should kind of follow it either or. Sometimes you get the laggard effect of the SPYs moving faster than the Apple. Sometimes Apple's moving faster than the SPY. You still see kind of similar charts.
Yeah. Apple and Google as well. Google is an interesting place too here. If you look at this thing on hourly just after earnings and them announcing their stock split, we're in this downward channel here. It's starting to not look as good. I mean, it looked good yesterday at the open. I totally thought we were going to break out of this thing. But now it's looking pretty weak. We've given everything back since the announcement of the stock split and stuff. But another big company I like to watch kind of the overall direction on. One thing I definitely wanted to kind of share with people is just like my process in the morning, because I'm sure you guys see there's like a lot of different colored lines on my charts. And the reason for that is basically every single morning, what I do is I sit down and I break down the key stocks that I'm watching on the daily charts. And the green lines are entries I have to the upside. The red lines are entries I have to the downside. Like you'll see a ton on Tesla because it's obviously like what I trade a ton, but not necessarily do I enter right at these levels, but these are key levels that I'm going to be watching very closely around. And they are all, so like all these levels here, these are all, so green is entries that I delete all these every single day and then I redo them every single day as well, every single morning. But green lines are entries that I'm looking at to the upside, and then red lines that I'm looking at entries to the downside for short positions. So if you're wondering what those lines are, that's what those are. And then any yellow dotted line is just a larger time frame breakdown, not a perfectly horizontal line, more of like a channel line. So that's what you kind of see there. But I think it's important to make your plan easy to process. I I think it's important to obviously make a plan in the morning. And then I think it's really important to make it easy to understand when the market opens, especially if you're trading that first hour of market open. A lot can happen in that time. So having the charts easy to digest can help a lot when trading and scalping. So.
Definitely, when we're talking about scalping, I definitely try to keep it simple. You know, one of the things is if you try to make it a little bit complicated there, you're going to have a lot of indecision. I don't know about you, Devin, but I suffered from indecision for a while there. Especially for me, it wasn't necessarily the losses that got to me the most. It was missing the trade. So setting it up perfectly, looking at that spot, knowing the spot, everything's going well, everything's following the key, and then you miss that spot. You just let it go by. Those were the trades that got me really on the worst kind of ruts, because then you just start seeing it work. Then you want to get in. And if you do get in, usually you end up losing. So then it hurts you twice as much, because now you're like, well, I knew the spot, but I mean, I missed the spot. Then I took another spot that wasn't nowhere near the plan. And then that's what happens. I mean, it just goes back to showing you that, I mean, and it's going to happen. Sometimes you will miss it. I think that the important part is always understanding where your entry should be and where you should be taking it. And if it misses, it misses. And that's just the name of the game. There's going to be another opportunity, but it's very hard mentally to get over it.
Totally. I mean, you have to know your edge, right? And if you know your edge works and you know your strategy works 6 out of 10 times, just take it every single time. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a winner or a loser. If your edge works in the long run, it shouldn't be a problem to take the trade. But obviously, I think it's important as a trader to like build a cushion and to build that confidence. So that way, I think having that cushion is so important to not hesitate as much. I know I struggle in the beginning of the year, and I've talked about this when I came on in the past, but in the beginning of the year, I always try to build a cushion of just some profits. So that way I feel more comfortable trading. And that's always the most stressful time of the year for me. And that's when I end up hesitating the most, is because I don't want to start the year red. And that would just be the worst way to start the year. We all struggle with that. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're starting a new account. And that's why you sometimes just have to take it in sample size. I say, don't look at it in one trade, because if you look at it in trade by trade, and you kill yourself when you have a loss, and you're like super euphoric when you have a winner, man, your emotions are going to be like the biggest roller coaster you ever been on. So the best thing to do is just kind of keep an even keel. The key times for me when I get upset is when I make execution mistakes, because those are the ones that I want to improve on. Like, let's say I'm going to stop at a certain spot, and then I let it go through that. Those are those type of moments that we want to look back and be like, okay, it's okay to be a little bit about upset there, because I know what I should be doing. Another thing is what you actually do, right? And so I think this is always the battle as day traders, is finding out, are we following our mindset and our thinking? If we're doing that, then I mean, you can just keep working, right? But it's when you notice that fall off, when you notice you're not following your train of thoughts, you're not following your patterns, you're making execution mistakes, that's when you really got to be careful. And that's how accounts are blown. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. If we wanted to do, I got another book.
Hey, my man was ready. Guess what? I got a book too.
Sweet. All right, you go first.
All right. I'll go first. This is one of those books that you can work on for your emotions. Another thing is just learning about the stories of stock traders, right? So I'm gonna go with here, How to Trade Stocks by Jesse Livermore. This is a good one here, guys. Definitely check this one on out. It tells you a story of someone that was, in a time where speculation was really kind of leading. And I mean, if we're taking a look, this is that type of market out there. $100,000 winner there. And I gotta say, if you haven't read anything from Jesse Livermore, definitely check it on out. It's not the only book he has out there. This one's a short one, as you can see. It's not long. So if you want to just take a look, a little short read, or maybe even just an audio book, check it out. How to Trade in Stocks.
Nice.
All right, so now I'll go to Devin. What do you got for us, man?
So I'm actually going to suggest a book that I'm in the middle of reading right now. I started it earlier this week because I'm traveling. I've been reading like 2 hours a day, just trying to pound through a ton of books. And this week I'm going to recommend Flash Crash. Flash Crash is really good. It's all about the guy who actually caused the flash crash itself. When was it? In like 2010, 2011. And it's this trader in London. He traded for a firm for a bit, and then he made $70 million trading in his parents' basement. And he caused the overall flash crash, and he traded in the futures market. And this guy was really good at honing in, and he treated the stock market like a video game. This guy was really good at video games, and he treated it like nothing more than that, just a video game. And he came into the office every single day. He put earplugs in, and honestly, he would just sit at his screen all day long, 4 inches from the screen, and he would just scalp futures, taking around, $7 to $10 million positions. And he was a perfect example of someone who was emotionless with his trades. Whether he was up 50 grand in a day or down 150 grand in a day, you couldn't tell. He had the same exact mood. And that's because, like I said, he treats it just like a video game. He's trying to beat the game, and all the game is you're competing. Like when trading futures like that, it's 1-to-1 odds, or not 1-to-1 odds. There's one winner and one loser, right? So he's playing the game of just trying to beat some of the smartest minds in the world at what they're doing. So really good book, highly recommend. It's more of a story. It's less like the book I recommended last week. That's more like you're going to get straight up tips from it. This is more a story of someone who found success in the industry. So
yeah, I mean, I'm working on the Mario Deluxe right now on my Wii, so on the Switch. So hey, you got to get through those levels, man. And when you get stuck, just like in the video game, right? We get stuck sometimes in levels, right? And then we can't get past it, right? So this is a very simple example of, not being so tied to those emotions, right? We start getting frustrated. That's the easiest way. When we start losing in a video game, what's the first thing that happens? You get frustrated. What's the first thing that happens when you start losing in trading? You get frustrated. Learn from that. Master that. Learn to just be about what you're doing and only rely on the emotions based on your performance, not based on what you think can happen or what possibly could happen. If that's where your emotions are tied to, you're going to be like this. Literally, when you see those candles move, we don't want to be like that, guys. We want to kind of be relaxed in the trade. Like I've been taking this gold trade, guys, and just letting it work. It's doing well. Now we're finally getting that pop into the 1980s, and we'll look for it to continue. But you just let it work here. Don't be so eager on the reward side. Don't be so eager on the risk side here. Just let the trade work. You already set it on up. Let the trade work, and then when you do that and you let your plans work, I know, Devin, you've gone through this where you let your plan work, you executed, you reward yourself, you got out of the trade. And how does that feel at the end?
Feels great. It feels great. Like all the hard work pays off, It's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we're just trying to create the process and rinse and repeat that. If we can do that, then that's when we're going to go ahead and see the profits in the long run come to us. I always say, look at your strategy. If it's profitable, it's okay to have a profitable strategy. What we need to do there is learn when to push the gas, when to brake, and then you're going to be able to go ahead and push into it. Another big thing is survival of the fittest. If you're a brand new trader, that's what I'd say. Survival of the fittest at first. Be a survivor. Yep. And then you'll be a person that can get into thrive. Appreciate you coming on, Devin. Anything else you want to leave off with?
No, that's all. I mean, a couple other stocks I'm watching quickly. Shop to the downside, UPST to the downside, Tesla to the upside, Amazon to the downside. Those are my top watches right now. Keep an eye on those over the next week or two. If the market is in an overall zone right now, mark the high and the low of the zone. Wait for some sort of breakout in either one of those directions to really start, getting more aggressive in the market. Right now, it's the type of the market where you should be scalping, taking quick moves. And like I said, I'm not even leaving runners on right now, nothing like that. Just being a little more cautious, and don't feel like you need to sit around all day and stare at the market. If you make your money in the first 15, 20 minutes off the market open, I always say it's better to just walk away from the computer in this type of market condition. And there's no point in sitting there and giving it all back.
Yeah, sunbathing is nicer than giving up your profits. So you work on that sunbathing, Devin. I hope you get the profits, and we'll see you next week, my friend.
Okay, man. Later, man. Thanks for having me on.
Always. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. I'm going to get back into this gold trade to see if we can get on up there towards the 20 and take a little bit more off of it. We'll see if we can get on up there and keep pushing. Let's take a look at the overall market, see what we're seeing out there and what could be trading well right now. Let's take a look. Main market here, FNV. I'm getting an alert here. FNV. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Gold. Oh, another gold trade here, doing well. FNV is one that I was looking at for today. Look at the daily chart. Looks like it wants to go ahead and take out the highs here and just keep pushing. It just alerted me. It's looking well, so we'll see if gold can continue making a move on up here. All right, let's take a look here. Basic materials, of course, aluminum up 9%, coal up 3.3, steel up 2.5, copper behind that, and wood there. Gold up about 0.82, so it wasn't the majors. It wasn't a breakout move today, but we'll see what happens on that one. Gold has been doing well since the open. All right, let's go ahead. We'll take some stocks from the chat and see what you guys want to take a look at. Consumer cyclicals today, recreational vehicles doing well, led by Hog. Department stores doing decent. That's Macy's and JWN. I also like this DDS, Dillard's, just because it is coming on back. I've been watching to see if it was going to start pushing. This is one that might take a shot on in a swing trade. When this one starts to trend, it trends really well. We'll see what happens in Dillard's. All right, you can take a look. Technology up 1.16 today. What is up in technology? You can take a look at electronic computer distribution. This CNXN doing really well today, guys. Take a look at that one. That one's doing significantly well. We'll see how these kind of continue to move. Data storage, semiconductors, not doing that bad. Rocket League up a significant amount. I didn't expect that to see that one. That's RKLY. Significant move there, up about 14%. We'll see if this one can continue making moves at the end of the day. All right, so what's on the downside? Energy taking a hit today. Gas, oil taking a hit. Didn't expect to see this, but yeah, definitely a little bit of a pullback day. We'll see if we get a day two move in this. It looks like just a pullback for right now, but we'll see what happens in oil. All right, time to start taking the stocks from the chat. We got about 13 minutes left here, so we'll get you on over to Benzinga Live coming on next. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 400 likes before the end of the show. Let's start going to the stocks from you guys in the chat. If you guys got a stock, throw it up in the chat, and let's go through it. All right, so Chris wants to take a look at ABBV. The only thing I got to say, Chris, is that I did see that comment about no book reading after college. Man, I'm telling you, this is the time that you should be reading. You no longer are being told what to read. So find something that you're interested in and expand the mind, because reading does that itself. Just reading in itself expands the mind. So Chris, I'll cover your ABBY or ABBV, but if you could do me the favor, find a book that you like and read it this year. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. ABBV holding that 141 pullback. That's the one. That's the level that I had here. And you guys, let's see if this really holds. This is continuing the trend. I think you got to continue to watch to see if the trend continues. But right now it is. And so in my case, as long as it doesn't go down below that 140, it's still in that bullish sense. Tilray, Scott talking about. Tilray is one that is trying to catch a bid there. You can see how it's been trying to push past that 625 zone here. Nice bottoming around 6. So if you're going to use this and you're looking for a swing, there you guys have it. 6 on the downside. Above 615 could get pushed above. We'll see what happens in Tilray. For that case, you can take a look at CGC. Very similar pattern there. You're seeing that bottoming action here. Let's see if it holds at 1768 and just starts trying to take out the highs. You could draw a trend line there and see if it gets on up there towards like the 8s. And then we'll see if that can start moving. That's CGC. AMC being mentioned out there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. AMC there catching a little bit of a bounce there today. Not a bad bounce there. Insignificant push there. There is some volume coming in here. So if you want to take a look at AMC, I would take a look here above this high. See if you get a really strong push above 1522s. There's some wicks there, so you could get a pullback towards 15 before you get the breakout. But I kind of see why some people are taking the shot. Momentum pushing on up. We'll see if that one continues to make moves. AMC above 1522s. Yeah, it literally look at that line I drew, 1522. So I can't blame you, Stu, if you're looking at that level. Thoughts on Baba? Says here Jordan. Let's take a look here. Baba having a good day. I was looking for Baidu to have a good day here. There you guys have it. Baidu recovering here. We're going to call out a buy on Baidu if we can get back into the 160 area. So that's up here into the zone. Baidu and Baba, not looking bad. They're both going to try to trade similar. You could also take a look at JD if you wanted to take a look. I trade these all hand in hand, JD, Baidu, and Baba. So it's not a bad look, Jordan. All right, let's keep going through. Looks like I got BBY mentioned there. Best Buy. Best Buy trying to catch the bottom here around 100. I do think it can hold this bottom, but the question is, what do you get out of that if it comes back on up? Maybe towards 110, but it's just not something that I think is the sexiest name right now. I think you'd want to see it back above 100 before you really start seeing the push, but it is building up a lot of volume down here in the 99s. All right, guys, NRG, we might have to cut here. We're getting an alert here back through the support. We wanted this to get back up through the 40s here. It's not holding on, so we're going to go ahead and cut this NRG here for a small loss here. So let me go ahead and try to get on out here. Looking for a quick recovery here above 82s. Come on. Lower volume there, that's why. And the volume slowing down. All right, guys, I'm not going to stick around. I'm out of that one, guys. It's going to be our one loser of the day. Everything else in the green, guys. So gold, American Airlines, Airbnb, even in the green after we started the swing trade in the red there today. Airbnb, take a look at that. It's already up there towards 159. We'll see how that continues to make moves. Not a bad swing trade in Airbnb. JetBlue also working well there for us today. We did take profits in LAC. That pretty much just paid for that NRG trade, so it wasn't the biggest trade, but hey, at least we didn't take too much of a hit there on that NRG. We'll still see if gold can continue to move. I still have some gold here. Took some profits, but looking for the push above the 1980s into 20 there for gold. We'll see if we can get on up there and get that last little push there. All right, what do you think about SoFi, says Scott? I'll take a look at SoFi coming on up. Definitely got to run, but Green Day, smash that like, says Born. Definitely smash on up. Let's take a look there at SoFi. SoFi doing well, finding a little bit of a bounce there around the 11s. Personally, I wouldn't be touching this until it gets back above 14s because it could come down and just take out the 10s. For me, it's just a sideways action. I don't like this chart at all. It looks weak to me, but hey, like always, make your own determinant. I just think it could break down to 10, and I don't want to be a part of that breakdown. All right, let's go ahead. Let's look around. What else is moving? Chegg being mentioned here. Who's going to school? Who's going to school out there, guys? Let us know who's going to college out there. Chegg getting a little push up there to 31s. I'd look for maybe a pullback to 29.50, then a push right back up there towards 31. But of course, this is a kind of a second daily move trying to get up towards a resistance. Could find resistance right here at 31.36. Of course, it does have a gap on the daily up there in the 40s. So we'll see if it gets on up there and really starts trying to take out the gap. The gap zone would be a pretty big zone to get into. We'll see if it gets on up there into the shadow zone. My partner is a teacher. Hey, there you go. Jonathan, you said you were looking at V and PayPal. To me, I like V more than PayPal. Visa has been pushing on up when PayPal hasn't, right? PayPal has been trying to find the bottom, and who knows if this is the bottom. I personally am trying to stay away from these like Square and PayPal to try to call the bottom, but it does look like it is near a bottom. The question is this the bottom? And you won't know until it holds it. All right, guys, let's keep going on through. We're going to get you guys over to Benzinga Live coming on next, guys. So definitely smash that like. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of a trailer here for us so that we can go ahead and continue going here. Like always, guys, continue working and check out, of course, none other than Benzinga Pro, guys.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? That's right. News headlines have a unique ability to drive stock prices up or down. These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. And if you're looking to grow your portfolio, it doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. An easy-to-read stream of news headlines will increase your opportunities to profit from price changes in the stock market, consolidate a knowledge-based investment strategy, and grow your portfolio. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring to make a positive change in your trading performance. We've already helped thousands of retail traders across the world, and they could not be happier. Increase your market knowledge, boost your exposure to big movers, and make informed trades before major price changes. The opportunities are all around you. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
We are back. We are back. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to stay right here and look at some stocks as we get into the close. Looking to see if this gold can continue pushing on up. This is the only trade I have put on right now, at least from today. We have the swing trade of AAL JetBlue. Let's take a look at AAL today. How are we doing in American Airlines? Doing awesome, baby. We're looking great in American Airlines. We're letting that trade work now. We're up over $1, close to $1. I mean, we were up over $1 there. We got in this one at 17.04, looking well in American Airlines for the swing trade. JetBlue doing well also. Finally got back above 15. We got JetBlue at 14.97. So as long as it holds 15, we're going to continue holding that swing trade and let that JetBlue work. A, B, and B getting back into the green for me. Got up there towards almost 160s. So definitely going to keep this one on watch. But a reopening trade looking well there. Daily, if it gets back above that high that we had yesterday, 160.88, we're going to be looking really well. And then we can start holding on here towards this kind of close here, 156.50s for pullbacks, and look for the continuation on up. That's Airbnb, and we'll see what happens there. All right, so before I get on out of here, I did want to play a little tune for us today. Question is which one to play, right? Let's go. What are we going to play? Let's do. What are we going to play here? We're going to play a little tribal seed action. Yeah, let's do a little tribal seed action. All right, let's do Moonlight. All right, so this is Tribal Seed, guys. This is a reggae song, a little DJ Hoch action for us right before we get on out of here. This is by Tribal Seeds, and it's called Moonlight. Let me know if it gets too loud, guys. Oh, I got to take out the other one. My bad. There we go. I was wondering why I was getting an echo. There you guys have it. XCLA being called out in the chat. Easy Mike, what's up out there, man? I hope you're enjoying the show. XELA, let's take a look at that. Of course, this was the Wall Street Bets play that was called out recently. It's been trying to get back above $1. I'd say you take a look at the hourly chart, right? And so you can see here how you're kind of holding this upslope, right? That just needs to hold and take out the symmetrical triangle. So if you look here, you got a symmetrical triangle, right? And so this is not a bullish or a bearish move. The big thing that I like to do on these is kind of draw a line where I feel the middle is, because this is what I like to represent. So above that middle line, you can start looking at it bullish. Below it, you can start looking at it bearish. For me, above this 85, you start looking at it bullish for a breakout above 90s. But it needs to get on up there. It needs a lot of volume to get on up there. So you can see how the volume is dying out. I would need to see a nice little pop of volume to convince me that we're going to get up there towards the 95s and get that breakout. But that's XELA. Bros for long. Any war. Money. They played at my family's bar on Cape Cod. Ooh, yeah, hell yeah. That's awesome, Roy. All right, let's go ahead. Bros, the bros, guys. You guys know how I'm all about the Dutch bros. Where's my bros coffee? Hold on a second. Hey, you gotta know the Dutch bros, guys. If you guys don't know, the Dutch bros coffee, the non-boomer coffee, guys. Doing well today, guys. Holding well there. And it looks like you got a nice little support to go off of now. 56. We could use that as a swing trade and go off of that, looking for a push to 65. But this is not a bad trade there on bros if you got that today for a swing somewhere down there in the 54s. If you look at the hourly chart, you're going to see a nice support right there on the hourly. What do you see, guys? Trend line to it. This is looking really well. It went right to it and reversed. Now you can hold, let's say, even 56, 55 as the risk, looking for it to come back up towards the high, up here towards, let's say, the 62. It's looking good in the Dutch bros. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys on over to Benzinga Live. Let me know how you guys are enjoying the show. If you look down in the description, we have a form for feedback. What this is for is what do you want to see more or less of on right here on Benzinga? Is it YOLO trades? Is it day trades, swing trades? Are you an investor and you're looking for longer term trades? Let us know in the form below. Hit that like always, hit the subscribe bell and the subscribe button down below to keep up with all the Benzinga YouTube content. Well, we don't even play for anyone, guys. Enjoy, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. Yes, a little bit of that reggae, that moonlight. I hope you guys didn't get caught under that moonlight. And Sopa, what a move. I might need some soup myself after that move. So we'll see you guys on over on Benzinga Live. Let me just go ahead and make sure we got that redirect set, and I will get you guys on over. There you go. We're going to talk about Spencer's big trade today. So stay tuned, guys. We'll see what happens. Keep it smoky. We'll see what happens out there, guys.